up. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert.
Field directors from colleagues on the other side saying that the shooter should have had more lessons. And we're seeing trending on X rhetoric about sorry you missed. This is the kind of rhetoric that we do not need right now.
Governor Polis calling the attempted assassination an inexcusable act. He says violence is never acceptable and that he's glad to hear the Republican presidential candidate is doing well. Polis sent thoughts to everyone impacted and thanked law enforcement for their swift action. Colorado's summer wave of COVID is on the rise. Nearly 1,300 new cases reported last week. Health officials say it's likely higher since most people now test at home. Hospitalizations are also at levels not seen since last March, with 111 patients compared to 66 hospitalizations at this same time last year. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Some brief slowdowns for our downtown drivers on the highway. I-25 southbound showing speeds in the 40s and 50s between and Spear Boulevard. I-25 northbound, no complaints through the Denver Metro. Northeast of downtown, no surprises here. I-270 westbound, we're looking at some slow spots between Northfield and Vasquez. I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again. And south of DIA, I-225 north and southbound, no complaints for our Aurora and Denver Tech Center drivers. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, it's the last hot one for a while. High 97, we're expecting some PM thunderstorms to cool things down after a hot weekend. High 90 tomorrow, high 83 on Wednesday. The current temperature in Denver is 86 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 in my garage after I overpaid for new blinds. I researched the industry, hired my mom, and 14 years later, we're one of the largest retailers of custom blinds in the U.S. Don't pay too much for new blinds. Go to Blindster.com.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Coming back to Las Vegas, September 20th and 21st, streaming live only on Hulu.
A weekend full of superstar performances.
Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. That's AXS.com.
The Hartford Small Business Insurance knows opening a small business is a great achievement. They offer custom insurance solutions to fit your needs. Get a quote and find why over 1 million small business owners trust them at thehartford.com/smallbusiness.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/radio and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
Need a new roof? Call Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400.
Denver's talk station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Green. That's green. Enter it now at KHOW.com. Inflation Salvation on 630 KHOW.
Yeah. Ripped off. Bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, and make your life just a little easier. As you'll see on the wide shot here, if you're streaming the show, I have Brooke White with me from Red Rocks Roof and Solar, and we'll talk a little bit about solar. We'll talk a little bit about anything you want. Call. We try to solve problems and answer questions and take complaints and do what it takes to make your life easier, as I've been doing for 45 years. Well, anything on your mind today? Now, who do we have here? We have Deputy Docs in the studio. Kachina, is Mark on the line? Is he signed in today?
Today is a traveling day for them, so they are not on the line, Tom.
Okay, just curious because they're on the road on a road trip and they tune in from time to time. I just want to say something very quickly, because as a registered independent, I get emails from all political parties, including Robert F. Kennedy. I get them from Biden. I get them from Trump, and I read them all. I just read them all. And I just want to say something. This is the truth. Anyone who gets the emails know what I'm talking about. Whenever I get the Republican emails from Trump and his camp and the MAGA Incorporated and all that, they talk about Biden being the worst president in history, and Sleepy Joe and Crooked Joe and all of that. And they say, you know, we have to take back the country, and we have to do this, we have to do that. Every single email until just the other day when he backtracked. Every single email. This is just fact, by the way. If you think I'm trying to tout one over the other, what I'm telling you is pure fact. I've gotten emails that literally say that Donald Trump is the biggest threat to America and democracy in history. And that if he is elected, now this is from their official campaign, if he is elected, that will be the end of presidential elections. He will put an end to the Constitution, and he will assassinate his enemies with pure immunity. And I said the other day on the air, you can get the tape, I said, when you use speech like that, I mean, I'm all for free speech, by the way. He can use anything he wants. But when you say things and exaggerate like that, you get people thinking, you know what? I'm doing the country a service. I'm going to do the country a service if I assassinate Trump, because he is, in fact, Biden also used words like he has pledged, this is what he said, Trump pledged to be a dictator on day one. Do we want a dictator? There was so much, I could not believe some of the things I was reading. And here's what's really scary. I'm not going to use any names. I had someone on my show that day, and off the air I said, I turned the mics off because I didn't want it to go even on YouTube, and I said, can you believe this? And I read it to him, saying that Trump will assassinate his enemies, and he will be a dictator, and he will work to end all presidential elections and overturn the Constitution. This is a learned man that was in my studio with me. I said, can you believe that? I didn't use the word rhetoric. I said that, whatever, the propaganda or whatever. And he said, oh, I do believe that. He said, the man has to be stopped. Now, this person meant legally, right? Not elected. But I'm telling you, I've said this before. It used to be we could disagree with each other, and the other side wasn't evil. Or we could disagree with each other and the other side wasn't hateful. Right now, it's funny because if you disagree with anyone on anything, you're accused of being hateful. Hate is the new weapon they use. Hate. Like for example, if you don't believe Title IX should be extended to transgender athletes, that's just simply saying, it's not fair, basically. And I'm not going to get into that whole thing because, listen, it is what it is. Here's the deal. If you do that, they say you're hateful. You hate them. Just because you disagree with a stance, you hate them. And that's where I can't stand, where people use hate, or they say you're racist. If you want to close the border or control immigration, they say you're hateful. Can we disagree without being hateful? You remember when people used to have debates and they didn't hate each other, for God's sakes? I mean, it's amazing to me. And I know all of the other shows talk about this, so I'm done talking about it. I mean, you can make comments if you want, but I I am not surprised. I swear to God, when you read those emails about Trump, and I'm not going to tell you where I stand anyway, but if you read those about Trump, you would think he is Hitler, honest to God. I mean, it's just so exaggerated. Now, anyway, you can't be surprised that people think they're doing the country a service. You can't be surprised when you read. Now, I will admit this. So I get an email from their campaign, from the Democrats, following this, and it was totally different, totally different, saying, look, we disagree, but we're not enemies, and we're not un-American, and we're not this, and we're not that. And they're backpedaling big time. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. If you have a problem, question, or complaint, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about anything on your mind. Right now, we have Jan on the phone. Jan, what's happening?
That would be Kachina's mom.
Are you Kachina's mom? I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk to you because
yes, you are.
We have a strict relatives, and especially moms. We don't allow moms on this show, but I'll make an exception for you.
Yes, because Tom, I have an air conditioning problem, and I live in hot country out here in California.
Where in California?
Valencia.
Now, how long have you lived in California?
All my life.
Really?
Almost 80 years.
Did Kachina grow up in California?
She did.
She doesn't seem crazy at all.
Okay. No.
Okay, so tell me, how hot is it getting out there? Seriously.
Well, it's been about 100 every day for the past 10 days.
What happened to your AC?
Well, my AC is fine everywhere except one bedroom upstairs where I have my granddaughter, Kuchina's daughter, staying.
Hey, did this just happen, Jan, or is it because of the extreme heat?
It is because of the way this house was built.
Yes.
And that particular bedroom has the little windows. It has 4 little ones on one side and 2 smaller ones, but we're unable to put an air conditioning unit in there because there's nowhere for it to vent.
No, but let me ask you, do you have central air in the house?
Oh, yes.
Okay, you do have central...
A brand new unit.
Well, but it's central air.
Correct.
Okay, and you have ductwork throughout the house, right? And the central air goes through your heating ductwork?
Correct.
And do you have a duct in that room?
One, over in a corner.
But it's not enough to cool that room?
No. As a matter of fact, the other bedroom is the bedroom where I sleep, and I got one of those new little electric ones for my bedroom. The upstairs in this house is not ducted well at all.
Okay, so you're saying without help, the upstairs in your house does not cool. If you didn't have that auxiliary unit in your room, it doesn't cool well, the system you have.
Correct.
And it never really has.
Correct.
Okay, there are several things. Listen, Jan, there are several things. I've had this problem in the past, and we've solved this problem for many, many people, and there are definite areas to look at. Honest to God, they're called hot rooms or hot spots or hot second floors, and there's some logical stuff if you want to take some notes. I'm serious, and then I might know some professionals out there, Valencia. So hold on. I think my friend. I think we might have a company out there that I know. But hold on a sec, and I'll come back to you, okay? 303-713-TALK. I'll come right back to you. Brooke is with us, as I said, from Red Rocks RS. Brooke, so as far as this weather and solar, obviously it's hot. But hot doesn't necessarily mean solar weather, right? I mean, what I'm saying is, obviously, heat means sun means power, right? But there must be some really incredible energy being produced right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And people with solar can run that air conditioner all they want. the more sun, the more you can run it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it just depends on which utility you have. But for instance, in Excel territory, you're paying double or triple between 1 to 7. And that's usually when people are kicking on their ACs the most.
Yeah.
So if you have solar, you don't even have to worry about the double or triple charges.
And again, if you have solar, you can also go with a heat pump. So if it gets cooler and you want to use it for heat, you can use it for heat too.
Yeah, there's different rebates to put in heat pumps, and depending on where you're at, you can get additional money back from your county as well as the state.
Do a lot of people do that? Do they convert or buy high efficiency AC with heat pumps after solar?
They usually do it in conjunction because that's when they get the rebates.
But will they get that tax credit if they add it to the solar system or not? Or is the tax credit only on the system itself?
The tax credit's anything that's combined into the system.
Oh, no, wait a minute. So if you upgrade your HVAC at the same time you do your solar, you can get across the board a tax credit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as long as it's connected with it.
Holy crap. That's Red Rock's with us right now, redrocksrs.com. Hey, we have more coming up. One of the other things I love talking about is water because, listen, look, I'm all for doing everything we can for the environment. And right now, I hate to say this, but this is a true story. I read about it today. Plastics are showing up in men's urinary tract, in their testicles, in their prostates. I swear to you, it is... They're saying now possibly a cause for all of the mass infertility we're seeing. That's a scary thought. If you do nothing else, drinking water at your kitchen sink, $1,400 fully installed, the best system at the lowest price, triple filter, reverse osmosis. Waterpros.net, 303-862-5554.
What's up?
The best things in life,
Hey,
they
man.
come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Selling your home has never been more competitive. Put Frank Duran, the real estate man, to work for you.
I will share with you how we give you.
Sorry, I didn't put a pause in there. Hang on, you ready? Coming out of you.
And for a free
Whenever,
market analysis of your home and more.
You will also discover exactly how I consistently net my clients more money than the market average. There's a good reason why my team and I are trusted by so many people.
Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622 with RE/MAX Alliance. You know, I've been doing a lot of studying of securities and finance and investments recently, and I have to tell you, I have found there is no one investment that is absolutely terrible. Maybe timeshare condos, they're not investments. But anyway, I have not seen many securities that are all bad or all good, or any plan that's all bad or all good. But I will tell you, you want alternatives and diversification. And that's what I like about Joseph Ciano. With mymoneymyway.com. He offers that diversification. He does it through fixed indexed annuities or overfunding life insurance, safe, conservative, guaranteed investments, growing tax deferred. Call him for honest opinions and recommendations. 303-779-6600. John Fuller
Plumbing.
is...
John Fuller, please.
Okay, John Fuller is a personal injury attorney that I hope you never need. John is really there for you with any time you get into an accident and you have any questions. Somebody in your car injured, you're injured, a family member injured, call him for free legal advice, free consultations, no obligation at all. if you decide to hire John, if you think it's a good fit, and by the way, you do talk to him, not an intake counselor, not a call center. Now, when you talk to him, if you think it's a good fit and you hire him, he works on a percentage fee basis. And what he'll do is fight tenaciously for you to get you what you have coming in a just and fair settlement or lawsuit. Now, he'll handle your case personally. He has pledged to take only the number of cases that he can work personally. You even get a cell phone that you can call or text at any time after you hire him. So I want you to call him and get a consultation and see what you think. 303-597-4500, 597-4500, myaccidentlawyer.co. Plumbing, heating, cooling.
Thank you.
How much time do I have?
I've never heard of that, but I just couldn't imagine.
How much time do I have?
I don't know.
What is that cackling all about? Jesus Christ. Is that Camilla Harris in the studio? What's Valencia near?
Yeah, and it was just a guy, you know, when I tested, it was just a guy, whoever his name is, that was sitting there. Check, you got me? Yeah, I got you good. How's the station coming back? I got you loud and clear. Awesome. All right, man. Have a good rest of the day. Bam. So somebody at the time had access to the microphone level to be able to turn it up to the proper whatchamacallit.
Hold on a second. Where's Valencia? What's it near?
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta, as God is my witness, I would. Listen, I'm old enough that I would need it loud. So when he connected, he sounded good. Yeah, maybe he'd sound louder.
Kachina.
Yes.
What's Valencia near?
What's the what?
What is Valencia near?
Valencia is where Magic Mountain is, and it's up. It's kind of like a northern suburb of LA.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Off the 5, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Off the 5 north.
Hopefully you're still getting Ross over there, but you can hear me in the talk back, I hope. This report is sponsored by Lowe's. And I don't know why I can't log on.
Get it together, you people. Jesus.
You're being very nice to her, which I appreciate.
Why wouldn't I be? Gee.
You haven't asked her any embarrassing questions about me.
Well, I'm not done.
You're there. Hello. Check.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. One Clear Choice Garage Doors, man. I always talk about these guys because I love them and I use them. And when it comes to garage doors, you don't get better service. All their prices are on the site right now. You can do adjustments, parts, everything you need, 24/7 service in an emergency, of course. Now, that's oneclearchoicedoors.com. We're talking to Jan in California, Valencia, north of LA. She's looking for help with her AC. Jan, these problems, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be one of these or a combination of these. There is absolutely no doubt, okay? When you have a hot upstairs, okay, the number one reason usually, especially if you have duct work, the number one reason is not that you don't have enough ducts. It could be you don't have a strong enough AC, but I doubt it. It could be, but I think the number one problem is going to be a hot or a lack of ventilation in the attic, okay? Now, yeah. I don't know, how old is your house?
20 years old.
Okay. Many houses did not have adequate attic ventilation. Brooke is in the roofing as well as solar business, redrocksrs.com. And Brooke, I know that you've probably seen houses when you go there to do roofs or do solar. if it's a hot, that it'll kill your AC.
Yeah, absolutely, it will.
Yeah, and part of that, Jan, there's a few parts to proper attic ventilation. One is it has to be insulated, okay? And even if you don't use heat a lot, you still have to have it insulated to use AC and to keep your AC good. And so in addition to insulating the attic, you have to have the proper vents in the attic. That means your soffits and fascia have to have vents on the lower end, your soffits, I mean. And then on the upper end of your roof, you need enough vents. If you get a reputable roofer, or those are the people you want, you need to know if you have adequate ventilation. Now, ventilation is just one of the issues, okay? But that alone will take a tremendous burden off of your AC. I did this in one house. I increased the venting in my attic in one house years ago, and it completely changed the entire efficiency of my AC. The second thing you want to look at is, you have a 2-story home, or is it 3?
2.
Do you have a basement?
No.
Okay, do you have a crawl space?
No.
What is your house on, a flat slab?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is the downstairs way cooler than the upstairs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Now, you look for a dealer out there for QC, a quiet, cool, whole house fan. Now, we have QC Colorado here, but a lot of people deal in that product. It's called Quiet Cool. These, now, in addition to, but a whole house fan without proper attic insulation and attic ventilation is not going to be good either. What you want is first the attic ventilation taken care of. If you have a problem, you may not have a problem. Second, you want to get a quiet, cool fan. Now, quiet, cool fans will help your house more evenly, and it's better than trying to put in new ductwork or anything. It's a quiet, cool fan they place in your attic, they wire it to a light, and it's remote controlled, and it's one of the best systems you can have for keeping the air in your home balanced from downstairs to upstairs. And that balance alone keeps you way cooler, and you don't have to run your AC as much. In fact, you'll save money. That's number 2. So you have attic ventilation, then you have what I call destratification, and that would be, I wouldn't use anything but the quiet, cool whole house fan. And you can look it up online and see who the dealers are out there. Now, those two things will probably solve your problem. But in extreme conditions, where you have a room that you just can't get cool, or a section of the house, you probably do not need this. But in extreme conditions where it does happen, what you may consider is what's called a mini split. You mentioned that you do not have a window you can put AC in. There are systems called mini splits. Now, the reason they call them a mini split is because they split the AC into 2 parts. One that goes on the wall, and then there are tubes going to the compressor that sits outside on the ground. And so they're actually more efficient than window units, and they're way stronger. And it's for homes that don't have the window access or the ductwork, but they still want to put AC in a part of a house. Many people do it when they're adding an addition to their home. I don't think you need it, but for those listening, a mini split is put through the wall. They take a section of your wall, and they cut a hole in it up high, and it's remote controlled. And then they put the front part in there, which looks like a grate or a grill, like the front of an AC. And then the back part, where it comes out of your house, that's trimmed. And then there are tubes with the Freon or whatever they use now, the refrigerant, going down to the compressor, which usually sits on the ground below it. And that is an amazing phenomenon. Now, a lot of people instead of doing attic insulation and a whole house fan, attic ventilation, I should say. Insulation is part of the ventilation, but instead of doing the proper ventilation and the proper destratification with a whole house fan, they go ahead and put a mini split in and overpower the heat. Now that, in my opinion, is just spending too much money because you're going to run the damn thing all the time. So I recommend these steps first. First, attic insulation and ventilation first. If that solves your problem, fine. But if you go a step further and you want to save some money on AC, then you put in a whole house fan. And if you want to go beyond that because nothing's working, that's when you consider a mini split. And those are that's how you take care of a hot upper story. One of those things will absolutely help you. Now, right now, I don't have the names at the tip of my fingers, but I know a lot of our HVAC companies are owned by big firms, right? Like Fixit's a local company, started here, but they opened up branches all over the country. I don't know if they have anything in that area, but I could find out. Or we have other companies like Plumline is owned by a national company now. Again, they started locally, and maybe they have someone out there, or some of our other people might have someone out there that can help you, and we can look into that. But those are the recommendations I would have right now. Brooke, do you think, I mean, in a nutshell, do you think I covered the hot attic kind of, or the house problem with upper stories?
Yeah, I think that was great. And then one more thing I would add is if she does look into the mini split scenario,
yes.
If she's in California, her utility will probably pay her to do that because Excel pays folks to install mini splits.
Why is that?
They're just more energy efficient, so it helps the state and the utility hit their electricals.
California might have some rebates for you, even on the insulation, too, of the attic. Mm-hmm. So you might want to look into that. And again, a good contractor can help you with that. But you want those three areas: attic, ventilation, which includes insulation. You hope you can get one contractor for both, but maybe you have to get a roofer for the ventilation, and then maybe you have to get an insulating company to insulate the attic if you need it. You may not need the insulation part. And I think you do, though, because in California, because it's not really cold, they don't do a lot of insulating, which is weird because you need insulating for air, too. And then the other thing after that would be the whole house fan, QC. I would recommend quiet cool. And then the last thing, the most extreme thing, and they're not extreme bad, they're good, would be the mini split for that room, or for you can put them in any room, by the way. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, 303-713-8255.
Thank you.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
It's a beautiful Monday morning drive throughout the Denver Metro as we navigate the late morning I-25 north and southbound, showing highway speeds through town as well as up north through Longmont to the Fort Collins area and down south to Colorado Springs as well. Back to town, I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again. South of DIA, I-225 north and southbound, no complaints through Aurora and the Denver Tech Center. Heading to Boulder, Highway 36 east and westbound flowing free as well. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. We're almost past the heat wave, folks. High of 97 this afternoon. We're expecting some PM thunderstorms to start cooling things down throughout the week. Tomorrow, high 90 with scattered thunderstorms and high 83 on Wednesday. The current temperature in Denver is 91 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
You know, one of the things that can help with heat around the house are good window coverings. Now, it doesn't have to even be heavily insulated window coverings, but keeping the sun out and doing it the right way. You have shades, you have shutters, you have all kinds of options. Made in the Shade specializes in high-tech, or you can get no tech, but the high-tech ones are really cool, battery-operated, solar-operated, where you can use your smartphone or remote control to operate them. They'll come for a free estimate, free measurements, free designer help, and then if you like the package, they order and install it with the best installers in the business. Made in the Shade. Now that is denvershades.co. That'll get you to Made in the Shade. denvershades.co. or call them 720-458-6566. Zero Res Denver. That says to me, clean carpets, health, and good clean air in your house. Why would I say that? Because they don't put any crap in your house. And anything that goes in your carpet goes in the air. Your carpet is one of the biggest air filters. The air moves over your carpets and through your carpets. What you want is to get rid of the old crap from old cleanings and all the pathogens and all the allergens. And no one does it better than ZeroResDenver.com. In fact, I wouldn't have any other carpet cleaner at any cost, but it just so happens they have great deals, like 3 rooms starting at $109 plus. They take money off duct cleaning because they use the same purified, softened water, no soaps, no emulsifiers, no chemicals, to clean your ducts, your tile and grout, any hard surface in your home. 303-471-5150. 471-5150.
Thank you.
Now how much time, Dan?
Okay.
3.5. I'm working with Milwaukee right now.
Sorry.
So we do on-air.
Do you want anything?
I'm sorry?
My son's. Is that your vibe right there?
It's a
Oh,
radio
okay. I want to make
show.
sure that was my son's. Because he left those crumbs there.
So we do on-air calls. We don't do off-air calls. So you would have to go on air with Tom Martino in order to get any sort of help or assistance from our experts or that. Are you comfortable with that? Okay, perfect. What's your name?
I brought them in.
Are they edible?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they made them from scratch. Put them all out on a plate.
A-R-D-I-S,
Ask
artist.
Kelly and Shannon if they want some. Boy, it's
Got it.
loud in there.
Okay.
Is it?
And you're having an issue with your neighbor, and they're. It sounds
So I
like
stole a
they're,
plate from the kitchen.
water runoff. Got it. Okay.
The
Hey.
4:30 thing sounds great,
Appetizing.
period. I will try to figure out
Presentation.
transportation somehow to your place, period. Maybe I can Uber.
Got some snack bars.
All right. Hang on.
Good golly, that
And
was
Tom will
crazy.
be with you as
Like I
soon
said,
as
I don't like those
possible.
little
Okay, so just hang on for me. Correct. So we do have experts, but you would have to go on air with Tom in order for him to guide in that direction, if that makes sense. He's going to ask you just basic questions to get to your problem. And then if he wants to bring on one of our experts who could be a lawyer, he would then guide me, and then I would make that happen for you.
Find out, because so far it seems like this kid, young man.
Correct.
He
Yes.
has a lot of social media presence.
All right, hang on for me. These people who call and have no idea.
What it is you do with who you do it with and how?
How is it,
Oh
Doc?
my God, no! I'm just like.
Very peanut buttery. Mm.
All right, so today's Monday.
Oh.
Yeah, you're on Ryan's board today, dude. Till 4.
Oh, yeah. I got to pick up a rental car Wednesday night and pack for a trip for Thursday morning.
And tomorrow.
And fucking end.
Do you ever think about doing a
Which is a
podcast?
band name from a movie called The Commitments. If anybody knows a movie called The Commitments, mentioned the Irish R&B fictional band. Oh, here we go. Coming back.
Today.
RHI.com. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Doug has a comment on fans. I'm not sure what kind of fans, but we were talking to a woman about getting rid of her hot upstairs second story and doing things to alleviate it. And I mentioned insulate the attic, ventilate the attic, do a whole house fan to get rid of to destratify the air. And then if all else fails, you could add a mini split in that room. So Doug, which part of that do you want to talk about, sir?
Mainly it's the vents. Can you hear me okay, Tom?
I can hear you fine, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I'm an old-time listener.
Thank you.
I go clear back to when you had a little problem at the Greeley Airport with landing your helicopter.
Oh, yeah. That was weird, wasn't it? Yeah, it was weird. And for those listening, all it was during that heightened security we had after 9/11, wasn't it? So I landed and was going in for breakfast, and they wanted to know how I got behind the gate. And I said, well, I landed. And that's how I got behind the gate. I mean, it was weird. I don't know why, but anyway. So what's going on with you?
Okay, well, I had an attic fan for 33 years, so I got a lot of experience.
Now, when you say an attic fan, do you mean a whole house fan? An attic fan ventilates the attic. A whole house fan ventilates the house through the attic.
Okay, this is an attic fan.
Okay, they're good. They're good to have, yes.
And it goes on at 80 degrees automatically.
Yes.
Switch. I learned this from my dad. I have a trap door, and because of my work, I never came home during the day, so I didn't have air conditioning until like 4 years ago when I retired.
Oh, my God.
But what I would do is I would override or turn the override switch, open the trap door, open the windows. Just 4 days ago, I was 68 degrees in the house, and then I closed the windows back up and lowered the trap door. But the big thing is I was burning out electric motors on that fan about every year for 4 years. Then I had the house repainted, and I wanted to add more vents. So when we took off the old vents, most of those vents have a wire screen behind them. That wire screen between the trees, the pollen, and all the stuff from the different trees, they were plugged. And that is why I was burning out motors. But I went ahead and added 3 more. But a lot of people that have older houses, those vents could very well be plugged like mine were.
Yeah, it could be. Now, do you know what Excel Roofing does? Excel Roofing has this fan that's solar operated. And so the fan has a panel on it, and the fan is self-propelled. They just drop it in, and as Popeil used to say, Don Popeil, I believe it was, with the Vegematic, he says, you set it and forget it, or with whatever he had that did that. So you just put it in, and it goes on, and that's it. It's all solar-powered, self-contained, no wiring, and they're really, really great. They're really great to have.
No, I've heard you talk about them a lot, and that's what I would put in if I was going to replace my present situation, because it sounds neat, and being solar-powered and all that.
Keeping your attic ventilated is so important. It's so important. Anyway, anyone who comes to do your roof should check that automatically. Anyone that comes to do any kind of insulation should check that automatically. And I think when Brooke does her solar systems, she should check all of that too. And they do.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, but I bet there is a lot of vents out there that are partially or fully plugged.
That's a good point you make. And I'm going to go one step further that's going to shock you. Not only, Doug, are there probably vents plugged, but I moved into a home in Littleton, a really nice home back in the day, and I, as I always have, I have my contractors, my sponsors check the house. And Jay checked the roof and the soffits, the fascia, the ventilation. And he said, Tom, do you see all those grills on your soffits, all those vents? And I said, yeah. He said, they just nailed them up there. There's nothing cut open. There was no venting. They took this big custom home. I didn't have it built. Somebody else did, but they had they had them nailed up there or screwed into the soffits to make it look like a vent, but they never cut them. Anyway, thank you very much. 303-713-8255. Artist is next with a drainage problem with a neighbor. We've dealt with that before too. Right after this.
I probably haven't written the next ones. Hang on.
Just tell me and I can put them on.
I'm not. Oh, should I not tell you and will it work? Of course I'll tell you.
I mean, I can put them in quick.
I love you. All right. God, I'm angry. Home Vestors, however long you want to go. And, oh, God, it's 3 of them. Frank Duran.
Okay.
And Retirement. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
I was trying to help KOA get connected from Milwaukee.
All right.
Kind of a bit of a zoo here.
The Denver Tech Center, heading to Boulder, Highway 36 east and westbound, flowing free as well. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. We're almost past the heat wave, folks. High of 97 this afternoon. We're expecting some PM thunderstorms to start cooling things down throughout the week. Tomorrow, high 90 with scattered thunderstorms and high 83 on Wednesday. The current temperature in Denver is 91 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
There's a reason people call Myrtle Beach the beach, because here you become your best self. You can speed up, slow down, and make waves even on land. You belong at the beach. Start planning at visitmyrtlebeach.com.
Now, there are 2 ways to sell a house. Of course, you call Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. He'll do an honest evaluation of what it will sell for, and he'll do it free of charge, no obligation. And Frank boasts that he sells for more money and quicker than the real estate market in this area, and he can prove it with stats. Frank Duran, the real estate man, is dependable, fast, and someone that never holds you to a long-term contract. Check him out. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Now, there are some other people that want to sell a house, and they don't want to wait at all. They don't want to have any loan approvals, inspections. They don't want to list. They don't want showings. They just want to get out of town, okay? Now, they may have deferred maintenance, and all they want to do is sell it to someone who doesn't care. Well, home investors will make a bid on your home, no matter what condition it's in, and they'll do it at 800-44-BUYER. Just call them, give them your address. The rest, they make an offer. It's that easy. Now, you may not get as much as fixing everything up and listing it, but hey, some people just want a quick option. 800-44-BUYER. Now, Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. That's a mouthful, right? But it says exactly what they do. They help you plan for retirement. It's a family-owned and operated business. They are fiduciary advisors, which means they put your interests first in planning your retirement. They look at all your elements, your IRAs, pensions, 401ks, whatever you have, savings, investments. They try to make recommendations that will help enhance that and grow a nest egg. And then they talk about retirement as you get closer to retirement. They talk about income. And here's the deal. What you want is their unbiased, objective information to help you in your decisions, and they will meet with you as many times as it takes for you to feel comfortable. rpcenter.com for the help you need as you approach retirement, or if you're just planning retirement from an early age. 970-663-3211.
You rock. Thank you. And would you like to know how long you have?
Yeah,
3 minutes.
okay. Okay. Or not. Screw you. Shannon, we have any news updates or anything coming from the convention?
No, nothing yet. I'm watching right now. There's not even really many people in there. Oh, looks like the delegates from Maine are sitting there.
So I wonder if I'm going to get any more Hitler emails about Trump being another Hitler.
Well, not after they...
No, I'm serious about that. Emails I got were so...
Here's one of the best things I heard all weekend was you can't give prayers and thoughts to Hitler. So stop trying to, pass along your concern to a guy you wanted dead, like me.
Man.
What are you talking about?
Well, that he was saying, do you think I'm going to get more DNC Hitler emails? And, these people right away came out and said, our thoughts and prayers are with the former president. No, they're not. No, they're not.
No, they wanted him dead.
Well, that, and you can't. If you had a time machine, would you go back and kill Hitler? Well, we almost killed Hitler. Well, we hope he gets better. What? What in the?
Oh my God.
Let's see. So she said she wasn't hearing audio.
Who? Suzanne?
That Suzanne?
Well, I hear audio.
That Suzanne? Yeah.
Well, I hear audio.
That Suzanne? Yeah.
Well, I hear audio.
That Suzanne?
Who's doing that?
I hear audio.
That's one of my favorites. I love doing that.
Oh, I thought I was going crazy.
All right.
Well, she texted me right after the show started.
Mhm.
I didn't see it until
Oh.
now, but she's like, I don't hear any audio. And I'm like, well, I do.
Yep.
I understand.
It's okay.
Whatever.
Did you see that one email from that asshole who said it was staged?
Uh-huh.
He's a Democratic operative.
Yep. A lot of people are saying that.
Oh, come on. Yeah, take a shot at me and just skim my ear with a AR so I can get sympathy. Yeah.
It was a blood pack. And the
what kind of
fire
a
chief
fucking
who was
moron?
killed was probably a... Yep, no, just a hell of a thing. The hell of a thing. That roof was not in play for the Secret Service. Oh, here we go.
An iHeartRadio station.
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Hey, listen. The longer a problem sits and festers, the worse it gets. If you have a problem, call us soon. Artis, I don't know how long you've had this problem. What's going on, Artis?
I live in Washington Park, and as you know, they're building these huge houses. They're tearing down all the old houses. And I had a new house that was built a couple years ago to the north of me.
Yeah.
And the street I live in is on a hill. It a big slope that runs down.
Yeah.
So the house next to me, to the north of me, is discharging water. And to my
Is that
property
is that house higher than you?
Yes.
And it's discharging water. Is it a new home?
Yes.
And how new is it compared to yours?
My house is 100 years old. That house is 2 years old.
Okay, and is it an entire subdivision or just an infill house?
Just one single residence.
Did they knock down the old house or did they rebuild that one? How did that happen?
No. They demolished the house that was there and built a new one.
Yeah, we call those, yeah. So they raised it, and it's an infill project. They're doing new homes inside the city. Now, here's the important thing to know. Usually, to get permits, they have to show what they're going to do as far as landscaping and changes to the elevation, to changes to the lot.
I got a copy of the architectural plans, and there was a French drain or something indicated there that the water from the gutters and the discharge was all going to run to the back to the alley.
Okay.
And they didn't do it.
All right, how do you know they didn't do it?
Because the water is coming into my property.
But how do you know the French drain's not there and it's just not adequate? You said they did not do it. You said they did not install a French drain.
Well, I assume when I see water coming out of the gutter to the surface of the property, that there's no drain for that water.
Do they have a downspout?
Yes.
And where does the downspout go?
Where does that water go?
Yeah. Where does the downspout go if you look at it?
They're directed toward my house.
The downspouts
And it
come
runs
down
out
and
on
are
the ground.
directed down towards your house.
Yes.
Okay. They don't go into the ground.
No.
Okay, so they don't have any underground drainage there. Do you know what a French drain is for? A French drain is not for your neighbors. A French drain is to keep water out of your basement.
Right.
So the French drain you saw on that plan was not a plan to keep water out of your house. It was a plan to keep water out of their house. You said all of the water was supposed to be directed to the alley. I need to know what on the plan. A French drain would not show that. So what showed all of the water in the drainage plan going to the alley?
What showed?
Yeah, Jan, let me ask you something. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm trying to help you. Did you have an engineer look at that or someone, or did you look at it?
The plans?
Yeah, you said you looked at the plans.
Yes, I did.
Did you have an engineer look at it? Huh? Okay, hold on. Jan, I need to know what they did wrong, and if you don't know, we'll find someone to help you, but I need to know where you discerned that they were supposed to direct water and did not.
Not Jan.
What's her name? I'm sorry.
Artist.
Okay.
Okay, just call me President Biden. I had a son of a bitch.
That's all right.
Tell her I'm sorry to call her the wrong name. Ask her to hang on.
Would you mind giving her a lick? Kelly's going to nibble her what's-its, figure it out.
Tell her I'm
Artist,
going to
sorry
come
about
right
that.
back
We're
to her.
gonna get
Sorry.
right back to you
Artist.
after the break, okay? So just hang on.
Sorry, we got the wrong name.
Artist.
I'm not going to say that. It's
Oh,
fine.
no, that's okay to say. He's sorry he called you.
Yeah. I'm sorry I was calling you the wrong. I was looking at the previous caller.
Like I say, man, I did that with the first wife. Bad move. Oh, sorry I called you the wrong name. After 18 years of marriage. Whoops.
Seriously?
Yeah. I don't think at the time I sent her the wrong text.
I don't know if you saw this because you were here during the. So I don't know if you saw all of the headlines that broke out, but it was like loud noises reported at Trump rally, and it's like loud noises.
It's really something. I mean, if I know I'm delusional, am I still delusional? Because I mean, I hate people and I want stuff to happen, but not like that. And I kind of get it when I see it, as opposed to trying to add several layers of
Okay, what were you going to say?
some weird vision to it. I saw one black comedian doing a bit about it. He's been slapped with all these felonies, been shot. Is Trump my uncle? What's going on here?
That there's a guy up there. There's a
Exactly
guy up
like
there.
my
Did
Uncle
you- not
Huey,
everyone,
man.
But did you know that so many people saw him and reported him to the local police and nobody did anything?
Yeah, Aaron had said that also. To be honest with you, I have a very small world, so I haven't watched the news at all, which sounds bad. So I just get it all from him. But he had said that people were interviewed and saying that they had reported it to the cops multiple times. So it'll be interesting to see how the investigation goes. I assume,
Visible
right?
blood to lead to
They'd have the
one
gas
of the most
turned on
iconic
Friday
photographs
or
we'll ever
Saturday.
see.
Right.
So I'd like to find out
Was-
if that
and
did
the
in fact happen.
blundering,
for your
even
son.
after that moment.
My cell number
The
is
handful of-
720-633-3000.
Did you have a good weekend?
The time is about 11
Relaxing,
o'clock.
not doing much.
Yeah.
Of
Oh my God! Oh
I
my
think
God! Oh my
everybody was
God!
inside.
But to see the
Hey, Lori, this is
4
Bo
or
She doesn't
5
even have any experience. She was like,
head of Pepsi.
Good.
That's
Yeah.
when we took our kids
Did
out.
they get the gas
Yeah.
turned
Then
on?
So she
keeping them
kept people
inside
from getting
until
arrested.
6 o'clock of a 1 and a 3-year-old, so it was
But
an adventure.
That's good. I called that cell. They said they'd get
The
over
few
it. That's
males
great.
that hopped on the
Do you have
president
dogs?
were
No,
that's shit.
I want 'em.
That would be.
Yes.
So
It's
easy.
hard
I
to
kept your
Love
son.
it
I kept
when I'm
getting
seeing
names out of it. So
But-
that's good. Then I'm gonna go
when
on
we
and
had
get a talk
dogs
about it.
before, because the sidewalk
much.
gets
But I'll
so
leave you-
hot, we'd have to put them in shoes. Have you
well,
ever seen dogs in
you
shoes?
understand how I feel about
amazing
women.
that they
Okay, you're
I
welcome.
put
Period.
nothing little
with kids and dogs.
awful,
Those little kids,
unable to holster her gun.
Yeah.
they're so good.
Are we doing this right?
Fill them up.
Well,
Kids love
I
We got this.
You know how I feel about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a
That's
good
what I mean.
follow-up?
Got a good follow-up. Got
I
the
don't
gas
know
turned
when
on.
you
over
were
there.
having kids, but
That was a
feel
lady.
I never
that-
want to see a woman
I was
in
actually late having kids.
position
My
of
my
any
daughter's
sort of.
Lady whose son was staying in a
19.
hotel.
Oh,
Well,
right.
like I say, 5'0" trying to cover a
That's what you had said. So
Yeah.
we
That's
kind of
good.
get them stuff that we wish we
Again,
would have had.
The cosmic
So we
tumblers
have.
that had
Sorry,
to be
this
in
is
the
kind
right
of our
spot
backyard setup,
for
but we
her
got
to
this
be in
big
the front,
alligator
where she was
slide.
able to reach
So how'd you
over
blow that
her
sucker
and give
up?
that
Oh,
a
it comes
push.
with like a fan. Yeah,
And
we
it
got.
stays on. Is
It
the
was
lower.
perfect.
Yeah, we got
She
it
was
from
that
there,
is
Costco.
you know. It's
Yeah.
Isn't that
perfect
cool?
that a
Yeah.
midget
And all
was
my
in
husband
front
and
of
I
him
can do
That's
is be
support
like,
at
them when
that
they go up there.
moment.
They run up
I
there.
mean,
and jump
I.
Yeah.
But
I've had to go up there because I'm sure you know kids sometimes get scared to go down the slide. So I've had to climb up there and kind of help, and I'm definitely not, 60 pounds.
And you
They
hear
walk
the
up
woman
the slide or they walk
on
up
the tape
do they have
when they're laying.
stairs or
What are we doing?
Yeah,
What are we
so
doing?
right
What are we doing?
here has
What are we
like
doing?
little
Yeah.
rock climbing things for their feet.
Oh, yes.
Making a quiche.
And it's firm enough you can get up there and.
Oh yeah. We haven't had any issues.
And I certainly understand how much. I don't
Isn't
know how
it?
much.
And we're just so
training is
jealous we didn't have
possible.
that.
Because every
So- and then you
situation's
fill
so
it with
fluid.
water.
What are we doing?
Oh,
Makes sense.
it's probably not.
And then it squirts out water.
You have water that keeps running down the slide.
Yeah, because otherwise they get stuck.
I need my
So it's
shoes.
got like
Or
little
instead I need
hoses
my
that
shoes.
come
But
down.
that's the job. I mean, I don't.
That's cool.
Like, if you look at
But yeah, those
videotape
little
of
kiddie
when
pool
Reagan
things are
got shot
good.
and the Secret Service, then it just seems like they're all a bunch of Nimrods. Like,
When
they
shit
get
hits the fan,
trained.
they seem nimrod.
They get trained,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like, oh, well, nothing's really going to happen. I can go into the shop and, I'll chase around some bank fraud and some wire fraud and that type of thing. And, every once in a while I have to guard the president, but, I don't have to really do anything.
Well, I don't know. There's still something about it I really. Secret Service is one of those things that's better than Viagra. Holy crap, those people. Big limos and guns. Yeah, you think American Glass Research is getting heated up today? 'Cause that was the roof.
Right. Exactly.
Is that a publicly traded company? Formerly?
Right. God almighty.
Shut it down. And did you know the shooter's parents are both licensed therapists?
Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
So it's certainly possible he was on meds.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, that's almost a 100% deal.
Yeah. Sad, but probably true.
I'm not a physician, and my daughter got drugs. I like drugs, but not because of me. Oh, shoot a poodle. Tom, I hate to tell you, we got to do 3 more hours.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. What's going on? How are you? And how can we help you? So we have today a guest with us from Red Rocks Roof and Solar. That is the owner, I should say. Not just a guest from there, but the owner. Anyway, what's going on in your life. We have artists who's talking about drainage. Drainage is a terrible problem. It happens in a lot of neighborhoods. You know, conventionally, or traditionally maybe is a better word than conventionally, traditionally, drainage problems in subdivisions and in drainage plans actually have a weird precedent. In the past, the precedent has been the people at the low end of the drainage have the responsibility for moving it onward, except in rare circumstances. If you're doing a giant project, and that giant project is going to have impact down the line in lower elevations, and when I say elevation, I'm talking just a few feet here. It doesn't have to be down the mountain. But when you're going to have an impact, they sometimes require drainage ditches or retention ponds or some kind of a drainage plan. Now, when you build an infill project where you go into a neighborhood, the only requirement usually is that you don't change the drainage plan. Now, that doesn't mean you have to divert water or anything. You just don't change what's there. Now, that's very difficult to build a new house and not change anything. Or if you excavate, you're supposed to put it back to the way it was. But this common problem of people down the line with new construction saying, ever since that house was built, I'm getting a flooded basement, or I'm getting puddling, or I'm getting this, or I'm getting that, doesn't always mean it is their problem. Now, it does a lot of the times, so I don't know in this case. So a lot of the times, it can be your problem, it can be their problem, it can be a combination. How would it be your problem if somebody built a new home? Well, if somebody built a new home and it was larger, but they didn't change the drainage plan, and the county did not require them to, this larger home would have a larger roof and more capacity for gutters and downspouts, and would create more drainage by its mere existence, because a home captures water and then it drains down and out. So, if it was a larger home approved by the county and they did not substantially change the elevation, it kind of would be your problem to divert that water. I know it sounds crazy, but in many cases, the building department will say, this house is way larger than the one you're replacing. What are you going to do with the excess drainage? And in rare cases, counties who are really with it, or cities, will require the builder to have a drainage plan. Now, Artis said when she looked at the plans for that home next to her, it said something about a French drain, which has nothing to do with drainage. It only has to do with keeping water out of her out of that basement, out of that builder's basement. It has nothing to do with drainage of your neighbors, okay? It's only that a French drain is only for the house being built, not for the neighbors, okay? So, but then she said something else. She said the plan showed that the water was being diverted to the back. And I asked her, did she have an engineer look at that? Did she look at that? And how did she know that's what the drainage showed? So, Artis, let's start there. Artis?
First of all, I didn't say there was a French drain on the plans. It's just something that I know about.
Oh, okay.
And just mentioned that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. So what about the drains? Does it show a drainage plan?
Yes.
And tell me about it.
I also...
Is the drainage plan, you said it shows a drainage plan, okay? There's an engineer signature on there. There's an engineer stamp on there. So what does the drainage plan, you know how to read a drainage plan?
No, I don't. And I had to look up several words on that plan to understand what that meant.
Okay, and you said...
That was 2.5 years ago.
Oh.
And so 2 years later, nothing's been done, and I need to see if I still have that. I got the plans from the city. They were huge.
Did you complain to the building department? Artis?
To the building department.
They're the ones that issued the permit for that house to be built. Back 2 years ago, when you started noticing drainage problems or too much, how is it affecting you, by the way?
Well, as I mentioned, I'm in Washington Park. We have a high water level here. People have problems in their basement.
I'm more familiar with Wash Park, so I'm asking, how is it affecting you? Are you on, this house is above you and water's coming onto your property? Is it puddling? Is it pooling? Is it swamping? Is it going into your basement? How is it affecting you? That's a fair question. How's it affecting you?
It will affect my foundation when it drains off and settles on the foundation.
Has it? Okay, it's been there for 2 years. It's been there for 2 years. I'm asking, have you gotten water in your basement?
I have not had water in my basement. I don't know about the foundation. I can't tell.
So you're assuming, but I need to know, but how do you even know the water is coming onto your property? Is it visually flowing onto your property like a little stream? Artists.
They have their gutters and the downspout. The downspout is discharging water onto their property. I assume it's going down in the ground and going into my foundation. It's a possibility.
How far away is the end of their drains, their downspout? I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to figure out the problem if there is one. So the end of the downspout, there's a downspout that goes vertical, and then there's one that goes along the ground. The end of the one along the ground, how far is it from your property line?
I'd say 4 feet.
Okay. So you're assuming, and then how far is your foundation from your property line?
3 feet.
Okay. So approximately 7 or 8 feet from their downspout is your basement. And you're thinking that 7 or 8 feet, the water must be draining down into the ground and affecting my basement, although you've not seen any effect to your basement.
No.
Then what are you complaining about? The possibility of damage?
Yeah, yes.
But you've not seen any damage in 2 years, nor have you seen any swamping or any excess water on your property.
Well, everybody knows in this area here, they have problems with their basement. There's a damp foundation. Everybody knows there's a high water level here. It's such a high water level here, and on these new houses they're building, they built the basement so deep, they put in sub pumps now, and that's discharged out to the alley.
Okay, now, here's what you need to do. You need to have, seriously, artists, if you called, this is really what you need to do.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
So Denver has a printed booklet on homeowners' guide to discharge and their responsibility to correct this.
That's right. That's right.
And you read that, and it's everything that's happening here. And I gave that to the owner of the house last year. I gave it again this year.
That's only if it's causing problems. You cannot, the reason you're not getting attention, well, one is you never complained to this building department, probably. And if you did, you don't have any evidence at all. I'm going to tell you how to get evidence. You need to get an engineer to do a study next to your foundation to see if there's excess moisture going down to your foundation. It's an engineering report. If it shows excessive moisture around your foundation and that there is a problem, then you have something to complain about. But if the soils are porous and if they're going down into the underlying water table and not affecting you, and there's no water in your basement and there's no moisture on your basement walls on the inside. There's nothing that anyone can do. You may not like seeing the water being discharged into their yard, but there's nothing you can do about it. You can only do something about a problem. You can't say, well, I know there's going to be a problem because everyone knows we have a water problem. It's not that simple. And if you get some kind of it doesn't have to be that expensive, but you need some kind of ammunition if you want to attack their drainage. The drainage, just because it's happening, doesn't mean it's causing harm. It doesn't.
So I have to wait for damage.
No, you don't.
You
don't have to wait for damage. But what do you want them to do? Now, as a neighbor, they could put in a system to divert the drain out to the back. They could if they wanted to, and maybe that would be being a good neighbor, to put underground corrugated pipe in to carry that drainage out to the alley. I don't know, but you have to first. Have you even complained to the building department?
No, I don't know who to complain to.
Okay, the building department. The building department.
Water department.
No, you don't call the water department. You call the building department issued the permit. You have to tell them that you believe the drainage is doing harm to your property. Then they're going to ask you why, and you're not going to have anything. But if you had an engineer saying there is excessive moisture buildup outside of our basement wall and it will eventually move it, or there is some kind of evidence, then you will have more ammunition. Otherwise, there's not much you can do. No, you don't have to wait for damage. If you're anticipating a problem, it's up to you to prove it. These people, you can't just go to them and say, I assume that your drainage is going to cause me a problem and I want you to change it. It just doesn't work that way. You're the one assuming
Even though there's a guide that Denver's done that regulates what needs to be done so that you don't do this to another person's property.
That guide is only in the event that the elevation is changed or anything is causing a problem. Okay, give me one example where the guide has a problem. What are they violating? One example of that guide.
Well, I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, but find it for me. Find it for me, because but then what you should do is take that guide and call the building department and say, according to section 3B, they're not doing this. Do it then if you have it. But I don't think you're reading the guide properly. That guide is to divert drainage in the event they change the elevation. They probably said in their permit they didn't change it. And you're saying, but it's causing a lot of drainage. Then you have to complain to the people who issued the permit to make sure that they abided by what they said. That's all. I'm not trying to brush off your problem. I'm telling you how to get action for it. 303-713-8255.
Very nice, thank you. With some, hey, quick to these two. Damn, why is it not playing? Oh, there it is.
Hey, Tom?
Yeah.
I think all she wanted...
Okay, he got cut off.
Fuller.
John Fuller is a personal injury attorney, and he's been on my referral list for many, many years, and we go to him as an expert in all things personal injury. And a lot of people say, if I get into an accident, John, and it's not my fault, and I'm injured, and I don't want to report it, I don't want my rates going up, do they have to tell their insurance, John?
You don't really have to tell your insurance that you were in an accident, but if you have medical payments coverage or if you have uninsured motorist coverage, the only way to get those benefits that you've bought and paid for is to let the insurance company know. So we run into that all the time. People are like, don't tell my insurance company. Listen, the law says if you're not at fault, they cannot raise your rates for that reason alone, and so you're covered. But these mandatory coverages and the ones that benefit you only in a circumstance where the other guy's at fault, you have to contact them to set up those claims, and they're not going to penalize you down the road. This is stuff we do every day. If you have these questions, give us a call. We'd be happy to help you out with your accident.
Now, John, it's so important, though, that they should have that MedPay coverage and those other coverages you talked about, like underinsured or uninsured, right?
Absolutely. Let's not lose sight of the fact that the main person you're trying to protect when you buy insurance is you and your family. And so if you have a good policy of insurance, you're going to have benefits that get kicked in the event that the other guy hit you and did not have enough insurance, and that coverage is going to be critical for you and your family to recover. So absolutely, you need that benefit.
And when you call this number, you will talk to John. They will get that call to him if you want to talk to him before you hire him. And, of course, there's never an obligation to hire him. But if you do talk to him, you get free legal advice. He'll go over your case personally. You don't have to go through a call center. And here's the deal. If he works for you, it's on a percentage fee basis, and you get his cell phone number that you can call or text at any time. myaccidentlawyer.co. And here's the number, 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. All right. FixMyHome.com is the website for Fix It 24/7. And right now they're running crazy on all of their calls because people are in extreme heat. And they didn't do what I said, which is get your stuff checked out before the extreme heat. But they're still doing those calls, and they'll check out any problem for $39. That's right, any problem, $39, and give you a full assessment of what you need and how much it'll cost. If you decide to have the work, they credit you the $39. But for free second opinions, there is no $39. That's a free second opinion if you're told you need a replacement. That's 720-526-3939, fixmyhome.com.
Thank you. Sorry for the confusion.
It's okay.
So you don't want to work all 4 hours?
No.
You want a break?
I like going poopy at about noon. My body has a timer.
Which bathroom do you use?
Oh, in the basement, it's the law. As a matter of fact, KTCL ran a promo on the air for a while about twosies in the basement only. So I go down there to the women's room because the stool, the toilet is taller than in the men's room. Now the men's room has a soft close lid, which I like, but the women's room is a higher seat. Although worse internet, so life's a trade-off.
I did for the first time pee in the men's bathroom on Friday night when we came back here after Billy Joel.
Oh, okay. I can see how that inspired that.
And I had to pee. So, it was,
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Didn't want to go through the layers of security to get to the women's room.
Homemade cookies. You should probably go take one.
No, I'm good.
Just saying, he made them.
Well, I have reasons to not want that.
Oh, and you call me strange.
Yeah. Well, you are. I'm just weird.
Yeah.
I'm weird. You're strange. How's that?
Yeah.
You are a handful. I am.
Not that big of a handful.
Okay. Special Counsel Smith has dead eyes. Doll's eyes. That's from Jaws. God, just no soul. Oh my gosh, is this almost over? I gotta do stuff. All right, sir, coming back.
talk station. Online at khow.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. By the way, I think I said this to you before, but you can text me at my Google number, and that's my private Google number, and I forward that sometimes to my cell phone as well, and I can turn it on and off. So it's a good number to have. You can leave a message there. It's 747-999-5280. And of course, you can also text me at the regular texting number for the station, which is 57739. And I do have some texts here, and they said, Tom, you're right about, by the way, you're right about the emails from the Biden camp. I'm on their mailing list as well, and they've been downright frightening. One of them said that Trump was the biggest threat to America in history and has to be stopped. And one of them said, we have to do everything we can to keep him from being president again. They said on day one, he would become a dictator. He would try to put an end to the Constitution and look to assassinate political enemies. Now, I swear to God, this is what they were putting out. So when people look to change things, I think they think they're on a mission from God. I mean, think about it. It's scary. It's scary stuff. Brooke White's with us from Red Rocks Roof and Solar. And by the way, if you have any questions, problems, complaints, give us a call, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. And air conditioners have been working around the clock. They've been crazy. Brooke, have you been hearing from anyone? I'm just curious. If someone you said you've actually been in homes, and the reason they called you is because they argue about the air conditioner and how much they should run it. And heat does really irritate people way more than cold. If people are cold, they get bundled up, but it doesn't irritate them as much as the heat. And you said there is absolutely a dynamic where they argue about how much to use the air. In fact, Seinfeld did one time. They did an episode on this where they were visiting Jerry's family in Florida, and Elaine was dying from them not using the air conditioner, and that's because they wanted to save money. And you said that they decided to go solar, so just because of the air conditioner.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This was a unique couple, so they had an outside kitchen set up, and so if the temperature was so hot, the husband would actually make the wife cook outside because he didn't want the heat of her cooking to increase the heat inside the house. So it was weird, for sure, but yeah, absolutely. By going solar, it saves money on that electric bill, so it definitely negated their fights.
In fact, can a solar system handle 100% of your AC needs and heat like this? If you and if so, I got two questions. First, can solar handle 100% of the AC?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just part of your electric usage.
Right. Now, here's what I'm asking. When people do solar, do they do it so 100% of their bill is covered, or do they do it as an auxiliary, or can they do either?
Yeah, either one. It just depends on the
person. I don't
person.
think I'd go through the trouble and the money. Why would you go through the trouble not to pay all of your electric bill or not to cover all of your electrical needs? Because your electrical needs really won't grow over the years. I mean, your house is your house. I guess if your kids grow up and leave, that your needs might go down, but very seldom will your needs go up.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the roof space, the shade factor. I mean, everybody's property is a little bit different. So there's some.
So are there some that can't generate 100%?
Yeah, exactly. And so having 80% of your bill covered versus none is still a better option because you still have a return on investment.
Okay, so have you had systems where you said to them, it really doesn't pay at all? I mean, really, because they didn't have the proper setup with the house or the exposure, or never? Or is there always some benefit? What have you found?
Yeah, so actually one of your callers had me out to their home, and they have a utility company called Mountain View Electric.
Okay.
So with Mountain View, they have a huge connection fee, and they charge very little for their kilowatt hours. And so as solar,
You mean they're not expensive?
No, so they're still paying like $40 a month just to be connected to the grid.
Okay.
But they're charged like 7 cents for the power they consume. So
Oh,
in
man.
that case, solar can only replace the consumption because it's a
Right.
co-op.
Not the hookup fee.
Yeah, so in that case, I told them, like, you know, at least for the next 10 years, you're actually going to be paying more to go solar than you would with the utility. Now, if the system lasts the 30 years we're anticipating, you'll see the savings later, but it'll take a while for you to recoup it. It's more if you want a battery system and to make sure that you're always connected to electricity if the grid goes down. And so, yeah, 100%. That's a real story of somebody I said, look, you're not going to save money for a really long time if you do it all. Because
Now, we'll talk about more. I have a couple more texts. If you have any phone calls on anything, including solar, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I love talking about the heat and all that. And one thing that Garrett over at 888heating.com said is, he said, Tom, one of the things we love doing is we love putting in a conventional furnace along with a heat pump and a air conditioning system all in one unit. Well, not one unit, but one system. So in other words, the heat pump is programmed to come on with the furnace, and the furnace only kicks on in extreme conditions. So it's all computerized. So you can set it when the furnace comes on and when the heat pump is used less. And so in other words, if it gets really extreme where the heat pump wouldn't handle it, the furnace comes on, but the furnace doesn't have to work as hard because it has the heat pump. And then the heat pump, of course, is being paid for by solar. And again, and then in some cases, he even said that there are electric furnaces as well. Have you heard of those, Brooke, electric furnaces?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so anyway, 888heating.com if you're looking for people for the high efficiency stuff. They're good, honest people. 888heating.com, 303-770-2776.
Thank you. Couldn't tell.
Well, I'm trying to be like a spot before the, I do that. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I
Mr.
know it's called an
Biden,
in-house.
please call Jill. Let her help you out.
I know it's called an in-house. Are you done with Jan on one?
Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Some new delays over on the southeast end of town. I-225 northbound at Iliff.
Jan
Across
is
from the
her
left lane.
mom.
We've seen some slow traffic.
And Jan is what you called Artis. Are you done with Artis? You said you were going back to her, we thought. Or was that it? Were you done? What were we doing with her?
No, I
Delays
told
are
her
pretty minimal
she had
traffic
to
getting
call
around
and
this
get
one.
evidence.
Just fine.
Unless she
I-25
has another
north and
question.
south.
I really want to help her, but she needs to call an engineer first, or she needs to get some evidence, or get the drain. If she has the drainage plan she can quote from, I would love to get her back on. Ask her if she has that drainage plan available.
Drainage plan, roger that. Okay.
If not,
temperatures
there's
high
no
night
reason to go
tomorrow
back.
and Wednesday.
Speaking of drainage plan, 1508 Euro.
With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Blindster is a family-run business that began in 2010, and we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters and received over 100,000 five-star reviews. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Euro Plumbing, they boast the cheapest, let's say the least expensive, because they're good quality water heaters at low prices. Can you believe you can get a 40-gallon tank fully installed with the old one torn out and taken away for $13.99? Who does that? No plumber that I know can meet that price. And $14.99 for a 50-gallon. But here's what Euro Plumbing says. They'll beat any price on any water heater. Give them a call, put them to the test. Plus, they do complete all repiping of your entire home and any plumbing repair. 303-668-6844. 303-668-6844. EuroPlumbingColorado.net.
Awesome. 4.5.
Thanks, bro. Finally, I'm training you. God damn it.
May not be training me, but certainly draining me.
Okay.
Oh, there's your problem. My Orcus was in charge of this thing. He's got the border. He's got Secret Service.
You can email it to us at help@troubleshooter.com. We do not have a fax number.
Somebody asking for a fax? That's pretty old school.
Oh, I know. I don't think I've ever. I mean, I have.
Hey, Tom, it's Bo. I have a
Bo.
follow-
Hey, so
Yes, sir.
they tell me you want to add a tie to the end of your name. I don't know why, but okay.
I don't. Nah, I think Bo's.
I think Bo's cool.
Yeah.
But I
Chopper
don't-
suggested it, but it's a little too long.
I
like
don't
that
care.
Bo.
Chopper's the same length as bow tie.
Well, whatever you guys want.
I don't care, man. Whatever. Hey, do you wear a bow tie? If you don't, then the hell with
No.
it. No.
Well, there's Charlie
I'm a
Daniels
contract.
rising up your bow. I like that one.
And it's and we call him Bo as in B-A-U-E or
No, just Bo. My formal name's Robert. So Bo's my nickname.
but your nickname is it B-O-W?
Just B-O.
Oh, B-O. Okay.
Just
well,
like
is that
body odor.
because of your B-O? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's why Doc stays away from me.
Yeah.
I always think of that when I hear the bank. FNBO. Do you have FNBO? Yeah, yeah, kind of.
So I have a follow-up from that lady last week whose son didn't have hot water in the hotel.
Hey, Kachina.
What's up?
I want to see if Kevin has any, Kevin Calkin has any idea,
Yeah.
if he doesn't find what seafoam is for the engine. It's called seafoam. I got a text on it.
It's a lovely light green shade. Very nice in a nook or laundry
shut
room.
up.
What?
Wait, what?
It's not quite teal.
So you want me to get Kevin on?
I want to know if he knows anything about a motor treatment called seafoam. If he doesn't, there's no reason to have him on. But if he does, somebody texted me about it.
It's more inviting than sage. It's very harsh.
It is seafoam, right?
Yeah.
I would say go with BG, but seafoam is supposed to be some amazing stuff. I also have a question about gas storage, gasoline storage. I don't know who I get for that, but
Rolaids helps.
so gasoline storage and seafoam. I got 2 texts. Well, that's a good question, by the way, morons, about solar being. You would think like in California they'd require people to put them on because California's so extreme. You would think, though, that every home should have some solar built in. Now, Calbert Reef says seafoam is a great additive. What? I've never heard of it before. By the way, most of the complaints I'm getting about drainage, most of them, is about, and also foundations cracking from vibrations, are from older neighborhoods where newer homes are being built. They're called infills, where they knock the old ones down and put new ones up.
Okay.
630 K-How.
Okay, got several questions. Today's a very busy day for texting. I want to ask Brooke, Red Rocks, Roof and Solar. Brooke, somebody wants to know, do you get a lot of calls for new builds?
Yeah, we get quite a few.
For new builds?
Yeah, usually
They're way easy to do on a new build, wouldn't they be?
They would be, but usually the new build persons like GC already has a solar company that they work with.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you get those tax credits the same if you're building new?
It depends on how the builder has your contract set up because the builder can actually take the tax credits from you.
Oh.
So like in that relationship I was telling you about
Yeah.
where they already have a builder,
Right.
then usually the builder is the one who gets the tax credits instead of the homeowner. So you need to make sure your contract's set up the right way.
Okay, and on, okay, and then I have some others, but I'll wait. Kevin Calkin is with us. He's one of my auto experts. Kevin, I got another text here. They want to know about Seafoam. Now, I got one a while ago, and I didn't really pay attention to it because it was during a car day. We were really busy. But then I got another one from someone else. So are they doing a lot of advertising or something? Have you ever heard of it?
I haven't seen it. Seafoam's been out for a long time.
Oh, really? What really is it? What is it?
It's basically an additive that you can use in a lot of different ways for hydrocarbon residues and different things in the fuel. I've seen it used in transmissions to help shifting. It's kind of a jack of all trades, additive.
Yeah, as I'm looking at this, it's talking about motorcycles, lawnmowers, outboard engines, any small engine or actually any engine. It says it really cleans out. So what do you know about it? Would there be a BG product similar or that you would recommend more?
The BGs are more specific to fuel, oil, and transmission, where the Seafoam, they say you can use it in almost anything it basically liquefies gum and varnish and everything else inside components.
Have you ever used it?
Maybe a while back, but nothing recent, no.
Okay. Now, while I have you on, we must have talked about this. I don't know if it was on or off the air, but I got a follow-up question about fuel storage. This guy said he used to buy some fuel and put it in a tank, and he wants to know, then he was told it's not going to last that long. I didn't know fuel had a storage life.
Well,
go ahead.
Depending on climate, yes. It can break down over time, sure.
What breaks it down? Is it heat or cold? What is it?
Well, I think heat breaks it down more. But yeah, it starts to separate, and it gets a foul smell to it. A car that's been in a barn, if you will, for 5 years.
Well, can it hurt the engine though? Do you drain it? What does it do?
Yeah, you need to drain. If it's that contaminated, it almost won't burn.
Is there a way to test it?
I don't know. Short of the smell is most mechanics can smell fuel and say that, yeah, it's okay, or no, this is stale. Then I have a follow-up question, because we were talking about it a little the other day. Do these fuel stabilizers extend the life of fuel? Oh, absolutely.
And
especially it just keeps the properties together. It works great in lawnmowers, motorcycles, because the smaller the fuel, the harder the contamination is going to affect it. Like a half a gallon as opposed to 50 gallons.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So if you have a small, okay, so this goes for lawnmowers and pressure washers and all kinds of small engines where gasoline could sit for years.
Yes, yeah, like stable. You put that in the end of the season, run it like in your boat, all kinds of things that it's going to be stored for a while. It works very, very well.
So normally, what would normal shelf life of fuel be? Normal, just without any stabilizer?
I think anything more than 6 months is pushing it.
Oh, wow. Wow. And then with the stable, what would it be?
I think you can extend it out past a year easily.
Okay. But even then, man, that's good to know. Thank you. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Renew Home Innovations. You want beautiful shower conversions from that old ugly tub shower combo? They do it. A big, beautiful rectangle shower in that space with no thresholds. It's a smooth transition in. It's great for people with walkers or wheelchairs or just anyone who wants one. And then perimeter drains, benches, grab bars, soap dishes. You make it custom for your movements. They do it in 2 or 3 days, and you have 6 months to pay, 72 months to pay with no interest. RenewHomeInnovations.com, 303-904-2000.
Got that one. I picked up on that one.
Oh, you're so smart.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Some new delays over on the southeast end of town. I-225 northbound at Iliff, a crash in the left lane. We're seeing some slow traffic back from Parker Road, about 5 minutes of delays there. Heading west, Hampton eastbound at South Galapagos Street, a crash in the center lane has slow traffic back from Santa Fe. However, delays are pretty minimal. Traffic getting around this one just fine. I-25 north and southbound, no complaints through town, as well as up north to Fort Collins and down south to Colorado Springs. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. We're almost through the heat wave, folks. PM thunderstorms today, high 97 degrees, overnight low of 64. We're going to see rain in the next few days with dropping temperatures, high 90 tomorrow and Wednesday, high 83. The current temperature in Denver is 92 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Don't miss up to 70% off select major appliances at the Lowe's closeout event. But hurry, these deals are too good to last because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
QCColorado.com. Now, you've heard me talk about the QC Whole House fan. I recommended it today for someone out in California. That's the Quiet Cool Whole House fan. I have 2 in 2 homes, and I absolutely love the system because it goes up in the attic, remote mounted, and it really destratifies the air in your home. It makes the temperatures more even. That alone takes strain off of the air conditioner. Plus, on cooler mornings or evenings, you can run it and immediately cool down the house. In fact, when you're out all day, instead of leaving the air on, you can just use this to get rid of all that heat in a few minutes when you get home. That's right. So there's so many different uses, and I'm sold on QC. It saved me a ton of money in my air conditioning, and it will save you too. You will love the way it makes your house feel. QCColorado.com. That's the website and the number, 303-800-3419. That's 303-800-3419. Excel Roofing. You know how I feel about Excel Roofing. They don't trick you at the door during a major hail event or storm saying you got to sign something for them to look at your roof. No, they don't play that game. They'll go look at your roof. Don't sign at the door, people. Excel Roofing will look at your roof free of charge and then write up a complete and detailed contract free of charge. And you only have to decide if you want them, if you feel it's a good fit, and never any money up front. No one does business like that. Excel does. EXCEL as an excellent. excelroofing.com. Now listen, I've known him for years. You'll be satisfied. He's got thousands of satisfied customers all over the Denver metro area. And in a time like this, you want a company that works and a proven track record. 303-761-6400.
3 minutes.
Thanks for that. I don't have to ask anymore. Okay, you're trained, Seal. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You get a fish.
You know, speaking of which, I got a funny story about seeing Seal one day. We didn't meet, but I saw him on the sidewalk in New York, and I kind of peed myself. I don't normally get starstruck, but he was right there.
Why do I have the United States Postal Service say I have a delivery coming? I mean, I always have deliveries coming every day. I mean,
sure.
I don't
You're
get
Tom
it.
Martino. Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, it's mail, USPS. I mean, it's not UPS.
Well, do you get the pictures from the post office of your mail before?
No, I
it?
do. Yes.
Yeah.
But this is different. This is saying something different, like I've not seen before. And it says out for delivery and when it's going to arrive. And I've never had that for a normal package. I wonder if it's anthrax or something.
Very slow-moving bullet.
Hey, did you see that photo with that wispy bullet?
Yep.
Is that an incredible photo?
Well done.
It's an accident, obviously.
Oh, yeah, just snapping away, or it's from a video still, but it'd have to be a hell of a video.
I don't know anything that can show a bullet. God almighty. I don't know. Is the AR a slow bullet?
That was a 22, right?
Well, no, it wasn't that small, was it?
I thought they were saying it was a 22 LR. You know, it'd be like a Magnum or something, but
I didn't know they make an AR-style rifle that shoots those little
people.
peas.
About the gun. Oh, that's a fast bullet. It's like 2,800 feet per second.
Yeah, but what size is the bullet?
I can tell you it's .223 caliber. That's what they use, which is a little over a 22 caliber.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
I'm
thought they were
surprised
way
about
bigger.
the photo because you'd have to have a really high.
Wait.
Camera.
So a normal AR only shoots little bullets like that.
It's a little bit larger than a 22. It's a heavier mass, but it's a little bit heavier, larger than a 22
But
caliber.
that wasn't like a military style, was it?
Well, they said it was an AR-15 platform, which is a military type.
Yeah, well, I didn't know they shot 22s. One guy here, Jim, says it's a 22 LR.
22 long rifle,
Yeah.
but I think it was .223 caliber, which is a little bit larger.
Just a hair bigger, yeah.
Just by a skosh.
How big is what is 421? Somebody mentioned.
421. Don't know what that is. Not
I
410.
never heard of a 421 caliber.
There's 410 shotgun. There's 44. There's.
Somebody mentioned a 421 shot, which was
coming back.
It's a handgun. Ask Deputy Doc. Hi, Tom Martino here. Let's talk to Chris. Chris has a question about HVAC. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
So I have to make some foundation repairs in the basement, and I need some duct work rerouted. And I know Plumbline, who I use a lot, will not do that. I'm looking for a resource to reroute.
No. If you use just an HVAC company to do duct work, it will be very expensive. We need to have some kind of mechanical contractor that can do that does just the ducting. Now, listen, here's what I want to tell you, though. There is a less expensive option with the flexible ducting. Are you willing to convert to flexible?
Sure. I'm just willing to. I need somebody to give me a strategy. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
There's a few different strategies. One would be what kind of section has to be rerouted? A big section?
Yeah, like one whole side of the house runs right atop the foundation wall in the basement, and I'm having some structural repair done where they're moving the wall back, and they need to bolster it on the inside across the.
All right. So how many feet run is that?
Probably 20, 30.
And is it one straight run?
For the most part.
That's going to be pretty easy. Now, you can do it in a number of ways. You can find someone and they do a flexible, which is literally connecting one end to the other, and then they'll just hang that. They hang it from the joist. Or that's not a finished basement, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it depends on what you want. Are you going to finish this basement in the future?
No.
Okay. So you can do a flex. Now, in addition to a flex, you can do something that is like semi-flex, I call it. It's not the steel, but it's a cheaper duct, and it will move the duct where you want it. But I'm trying to think here. Who do you get? Did Plumbline have any recommendations for it?
Well, believe it or not, they just said, you should call Tom Martino.
Yeah, okay. Now seriously, we need to call a few of our people because, believe it or not, they don't normally do that. What they do is they do the system but the ductwork they usually sub it to, and I'd like to know a good company and who they use. Kachina, could we call over maybe to Adam at Fix It? Since he's already called Plumbline. And then let's also ask Tony at whatchamacallit? I don't. Now I'm sounding. Never mind. Don't call me a name, Shannon. I promise. Don't play the theme music either. He started playing "Hail to the Chief." We want. Come on now. I'm bringing a fart here, brain fart. But Tony, you know who I mean, right? And Master Services. Gosh, I knew I'd come up with it.
Okay, I was just going to say maybe Master Services.
Yeah, let's call. Ask them who they use for ducting. Hang on, Chris, and let's see if we get you an answer. Or if you have to hang up, that's good too. 303, we'll talk about it. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, I got a question for our solar expert, and we have Brooke with us. By the way, thanks, guys, for using this number for texting. The number is, it's my private Google number, which means you can text me anytime. I'm serious. I will get it. And I don't know why I put it out there, but you know what? I figure, look, direct access is good. 747-999-5280. 747-999-5280. That is one here. So, okay, so I have a text about swimming pools. They really want to heat their swimming pools, keep it open 3 seasons. Do you do solar systems just for swimming pools, or do you think that's foolish to do? If I don't know where you stand on that. When people have a single-use solar need, do you think that's wise?
So in Boulder County, you're required to add solar if you add in a pool or a hot tub.
Really?
So that is a single-use requirement by the jurisdiction. So yeah, we do.
But if you're doing it, aren't you really just, in other words, here's what I'm asking. Do you really save money doing that? Or if you're going to do it anyway, can't you just add more panels and get more out of it? Isn't that the time to do it? Or do you have to upgrade everything, like the inverters and everything?
No, you can do it piecemeal or all together. You're going to get more bang for your buck if you do as much solar as you possibly can.
Since you're there working anyway.
Yeah, exactly, because then you get the right size inverters, your racking's done, which is what the panels are on, and you already have your panels. Plus,
what's the most expensive part of a system? Like the panels themselves, the inverter, and what is there? There's the panel, the inverter, and what else?
I would say the inverter's probably the most
And the
expensive.
inverter takes the DC and turns it into AC, right?
Yep, exactly.
And then what else do you have to do? You don't have to do a new panel, right?
It just depends on the system and what they're doing. Typically, if they're already adding a pool, then they probably have a sufficient main panel already.
But if they don't have a sufficient main panel, they have to add the panel. Mm-hmm. And then what is the net meter? Is that something the utility company does?
Yes.
And it's a special meter. The new smart meters can't be automatically a net meter?
No, the new smart meters are set up for that.
All right. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You can also text 57739, or, of course, my Google number, 747-999-5280.
Have you blocked anybody on that Google number yet?
No, why?
I might be the first.
Why? I know. I get yours, by the way.
I know, but I may start really cranking it up.
Oh, stop.
You tough on me, have a follow-up?
I know I already sent you Kelly munching on that sandwich.
I told him half an hour ago. I have to follow up on this hot water issue. He didn't bring me up. I think sometimes he gets busy.
Well, I don't want to go, but Dragon's coming in.
Oh, is he forgetful?
Do you need anything?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
Now, how much alcohol is in that?
This much. The whole thing.
Because they make coolers that look like that now in those cans.
Send him a text.
I'm trying to figure out what this is for my.
Oh.
That's what I do sometimes.
These kids were here, they were here.
How do you do that?
What do you mean?
What does your kid play?
Do you have his
What
phone number?
instrument? Oh, nice.
His personal. I think he gave me his personal cell when I got in trouble.
That's a serious drum set.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he called me.
What do you do?
Scott, I went on this case, and there was a water heater, and I went out there, and I said a few things to the lady, and then the lady got her lawyer,
Cool.
and she said into Kelly, said, we want
These guys like, holy shit, Tom.
No, Suze gave me Tom's number. She said, you need to call Tom at home and tell him what happened.
Wow.
So then I kind of almost.
Procedurist.
I forget what it was. They were just fucking this lady around, and I just said, no, you don't need to do that. She was a lady. It's bad deal. This lady hasn't had.
Do you want me to send you Tom's number?
Yeah. Is that how you get a hold of him, Dog?
Well, sometimes I just send him a text, and that way he'll read the text.
Okay. Yeah, I got spanked on my second case, Doc.
One of the world's most anticipated soccer games devolved into chaos. Hard Rock Stadium in South Florida last night.
Now we've got some hooligans at the game. Oh no, Tucker Hooligans. Good morning, Troubleshooter Show. Did you want to talk to Tom and the gang?
Yeah, they were talking about that photo. I was talking to him off there about that photograph.
Which one?
The photograph, the guy that took the
Yeah,
picture.
I mean, is it kind of lengthy? I sort of forget that.
Really?
You didn't see that?
No.
If that's true, that's the most amazing photography anyone's ever did in the century.
Maybe even no, Tom's
off the contrail. I took it was so amazing. I took a picture of it.
a little longer.
Off the TV. I'll send it to you.
Oh my God, it's dragging.
57739.
Well,
I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand or what? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Ow. That hurt.
Are you having a seizure or something? I'm having a stroke.
No.
Someone is having a stroke.
Hey, I gotta tell
What's
you.
your phone number?
You know what? It's a much longer. It's gonna be a longer story.
720-633.
633.
Okay, let me know when you're in a position to take the text number. Did you just want to text him?
I'm gonna send you a picture of
You
this
got it?
photograph.
You ready?
It's amazing.
747 like the plane. Okay, do it. Go ahead. 747 like the plane. So the area code is 747.
You know, I went out to get a bottle of water and used the restroom when I came back and I didn't get my water.
Yep. 999 homes and 4 other buildings were destroyed after a fast-moving brush fire ignited. And then the altitude, 5280. So it's the airplane, the German screaming no, and then the altitude. That's a joke. Hey! All right, brother. 747-999-5280. Okay. You got it, man. Yeah, absolutely. And he'll get around to reading it, I'm sure, within the hour and figuring everything out for you. Okay. You bet. Bye. You want a Google text number?
You should get his stuff.
Nice.
This is where it said fail to send.
I'm on your phone.
What?
I should be in your phone. I sent you
Yeah.
pictures of that shop.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show.
These guys wanted to cook.
It really is a hell of a thing, the way it worked out. They're just fucking done. You needed him
Okay.
hit.
Hang on for
You
me.
needed Trump hit.
Just enough. Yeah.
Because snipers picking the dude off, weird scene. Anything else, stopping him from getting on the roof, not as good a story.
Right.
So. Well, I'm already down a toe. I mean,
I'll bring them in.
No, all right. I can't. My diabetes. Diabetes. Huh? Did they?
No.
Oh.
See, now he's trying for the sympathy effect.
Fun moment in the CU booth years ago. Some hot co-eds, I guess is what you'd call them.
Okay.
Bring up some cookies to the booth. And, we worry about listener food,
course,
right? Always.
yes.
But I was like, guys, stop, hang on. The girls left the room, left the cookies and left. I was like, here's the deal. It's possible that at some point during the week they have touched themselves inappropriately. They then, even if they washed their hands, made these cookies.
Yes.
I think it's important that we eat them.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show. How can I help you?
How could you not?
Yeah.
Hello, Tom Martino Show.
Thank you, Bobby.
Hello, Tom Martino Show. How can I help you?
She touched her cookie. She made this cookie.
Right.
In lieu of the original.
Got it.
10 seconds here, Tommy.
That's bank. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation Salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. What is on your mind today? How can we help you? This hour brought to you by waterpros.net. You know how I feel about water, the best drinking water, the lowest prices anywhere. And if you want a whole house system, you can damn near do laundry without detergent. I am not kidding you. That super soft water is one of the best cleaning agents in nature. And that's waterpros.net, 303-862-5554. Brooke is with us from Red Rocks Roof and Solar. We've been talking a little about solar. Now, Lisa wants to talk about landscaping. Let's talk about landscaping, Lisa. And then Mike wants to talk about an apartment manager. Anything on your mind, folks? That's what we do here. We just discuss things. You know, really what we love doing is helping people. That's what we love. And by the way, can Brooke guarantee we can sell our tax credits if we can't use it? Let me just ask you that real quick. This text that just came into my Google number, 747-999-5280. Brooke, what happens in there on if they can't use the tax credit they heard they could sell? Do you have any?
Yeah.
It says, can Brooke guarantee we can sell our tax credits? If so, how?
Yeah, so the Inflation Reduction Act allowed folks to start selling their tax credits, or if they're a nonprofit, they get an IRS rebate check back instead of the credit. Now, as far as guaranteeing it, I'm not a CPA, so you need to apply with the IRS to get a number so you can sell your tax credit. If they approve that, which from what I've heard is a pretty simple process, as long as you have that number, you can sell your tax credits. People have been selling tax credits for decades, just not solar.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay,
like your
cool.
easement tax credits.
Now, who buys them?
Oh, anybody that has a high tax liability.
So, in other words, if you have a system and you have somebody that wants to sell a credit, I could buy them.
Yeah, I would talk to your accountant because your accountant's going to know people with high tax liability that are going to want to buy it from you.
Okay.
Yeah, I would talk to your accountant.
But if I wanted to buy them, credits. Mm-hmm. So obviously the idea is you don't pay 100% for them or you don't get the benefit, right? You're
usually paying about 70 to 75 cents on the dollar. So
okay, cool. So everyone benefits.
Exactly.
All right, 303-713-TALK. Now, Lisa, what about your landscaping? What's going on, Lisa?
Oh, yes. I want to... hi, Tom. It's glad to talk to you.
Well, good to talk to you. What's happening?
I'm a senior, and I'm just tired to take care of this grass. Everything I try on it doesn't work. I get big, long weeds. I want to find a landscaper that could, do away with the lawn. And
oh, so you want to do what's called...
I'm planning on putting them big rock blocks. And
you're talking about... they call it xeriscaping.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you allowed to do that where you live? Some neighborhoods don't allow it.
I live in Lakewood.
In a regular neighborhood or in a subdivision?
Oh, no, a regular neighborhood.
So do other people in the neighborhood have? I doubt there's any rule against it where you are. So...
No, I've seen people around here with it, and even with them great big timber rocks around their house. Great big rocks.
You know what? I would do Rob at LEM Landscaping. Great person. You could also...
What's his name?
Rob. It's LEM Landscaping on my referral list. He's a great guy. He'll take good care of you. Yeah, and then there's we also have other landscapers. Hold on. Let me just go. But Rob's a good guy, and you'll like him.
It's actually Bob.
Bob is what I meant. Yeah, Bob. LEM. But then there's also Mr. Green Jeans. I don't know if he does that. I don't know if he does that, but you can check with him. Do you need numbers? Kachina can do that off the air for you. Okay. So LEM Landscaping and Mr. Green Jeans, both on my referral list. Hold on, and Kachina will help you out there. Thanks, Kachina. Mike, what's going on with you, Mike? What's happening?
Oh, hi. How are you doing, Tom?
Good, man. What's happening with you?
Well, actually, my daughter and her friend moved into an apartment here in Colorado Springs, and over the time that they've been staying there, they've, heard somebody trying to get inside their house. So they decided to hang a camera up outside the door.
Yeah.
Come to find out, it's the property manager. He walks around, puts his ear up to the door, listens, and then he tries to open your door.
Wait a minute.
So my daughter.
Wait a minute. Does he know there's a door cam there, or is he a moron? Well, I'm sorry. I don't want to insult my YouTube morons, but is he just crazy? Does he know there's a door cam there?
I don't think he did at first. She showed me the videos, and one of the videos, finally, he had looked up and seen this little tiny camera.
Is this a house or is it an apartment?
It's an apartment complex.
And this manager is trying to get in, or what is he doing at the door?
He puts his ear up to the door, and then he tries to turn the handle. So her camera kind of faces the apartment across the hall from her, and you can physically see him grab the handle and try to turn it. And then he comes over to her apartment, and you can see him put his ear up to her door, and he tries to turn her
So
handle.
he's doing more than just hers.
Yeah.
Did you report him?
No, she just wants to move out, and obviously she has a lease, and she wants to know what she can do to get out of there. Obviously he's on camera trying to do all this stuff.
So what you're really asking, Mike, you're asking, is that a good enough reason to leave?
Yep, and get her deposit back and break her lease.
Okay. We should examine that. Maybe Brad O'Brien would have something to say about that, our real estate attorney. I want to ask, but here's some of the things I think could happen. I think the guy could make an excuse saying, well, I just checked to make sure they're locked and that we don't hear anything unusual. Would he say something like that? I don't know that is weird. That is really weird.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy. How many times has she recorded
she's got
this?
Them more than a dozen. She's got them more than a dozen times.
All right, wait a minute. No. That's really weird. More than a dozen times. She needs to call the owners. I think, you know what, though?
Sometimes during middle of the day, sometimes it could be at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, that is creepy. Does she live, you say she lives there with someone, right?
Yeah, it's my daughter and her friend. They're both girls, so they're both just barely over 20. So,
okay, hold on. That would freak me out. Oh God.
She needs to call the police, Tom.
Yeah, has she called the police?
Well, she doesn't want to start any problems and get kicked out of there, or him come try to do something.
Why would they get kicked out of there? That would be. There's a management company that has this manager. Who's the management company?
I'm not too sure. I would have to get the
Mike,
name of the apartment complex.
Mike, if it was my daughter, I would take that video. I would find out who the management company is and get this guy fired. I mean, now this is between you and me. I want to ask you something. If she's looking for an excuse to break her lease anyway, okay, I'm not saying she's making this up. I'm saying, does she just want out of there?
Well, it's a pretty rough place, and with that going on, she just wants out of there now.
In other words, even if the guy was fired, she still wants out, doesn't she?
Yep.
Then I would still contact them and say, look, this is an intolerable situation. We would like to do this in a friendly way and get our deposit back and break the lease on a given date. But I would talk to someone. I really would, at the management company. You're asking me, can they do a constructive eviction? In other words, can they just evict themselves? Yeah, they can. You can go through that. But then if they want, they can argue and say, he was checking or whatever. All I'm saying is it's not as automatic as if somebody will let you out of it. So I would tend...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But my biggest concern would be is, I guess, if it was just checking, he's obviously doing it throughout the night. And
No, I don't doubt the guy's a weirdo, okay? And I don't doubt that she wants out of there. But what I'm saying is, if they want to put up a fight, a constructive eviction is not automatic. A constructive eviction where you evict yourself, basically saying it's unsafe. Although I think with this video evidence she would win in court, but I'm trying to avoid that. What I'm saying is, if she calls or you call the management company and you say, we have video of this clown doing this, we want out of the lease. Even tell him you're going to go to the media with it. I mean, you want your deposit back. She wants her deposit back and she wants out of the lease. So see what they say first and call us back. I think you have every reason to want out of it. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Someone else on YouTube says she needs to follow up in writing, with the management company. And to see, first of all, what they say about it. Are they going to say they approved it? Are they going to say, yeah, he does that periodically? I mean, I think that would be stretching it. But I think you need to contact the management company. I mean, wouldn't you feel bad or terrible if something happened to someone as a result of this? 303-713-8255. Compass Insurance Group. Insurance checkups. Make sure you're not overinsured, underinsured, paying too much. That's Compass Insurance Group. A free checkup. 303-996-9000.
This is Dan Kaplis. When a worker is catastrophically injured on the job, their family immediately needs the money necessary to keep the household going. And if a third party caused those injuries, the family needs to preserve the evidence so that all possible claims may be pursued. We help injured workers pursue third-party claims on a percentage fee basis. If you need our help, call 303-770-5551 or hit dankapleslaw.com.
All right, if you're looking for the best carpet cleaning and the healthiest carpet cleaning and something that'll clean out the old crap from your carpets from previous carpet cleaning, there's only one company that can deliver all of that, and that's ZeroResDenver.com. I truly love ZeroRes, and I use them. And I'll tell you why. Because I care about my health, I care about the cleanliness of my home, I care about the air quality, I care about all of it. Kids, pets, myself, ZeroResDenver.com. They use purified, softened water, the best cleaning agent in nature, ZeroResDenver.com. First, they get out all of the stuff from previous cleanings, then they get out all the dirt and pathogens and take it away, and then they use less water, and your carpets get dried faster and stay clean longer. And you can get deals starting at $109 for 3 rooms. They do also tile and grout, any solid surface. They also do duct work. ZeroResDenver.com, 303-471-5150. Don't consider anything else, 471-5150. Right now, FixMyHome.com is busy fixing homes at Fix It 24/7, free second opinions. I know you're being pressured right now. If you need AC and they say you need one and you think, well, maybe I just might need a repair, you can call Fix It for a free second opinion. 720-526-3939, FixMyHome.com. Estate planning is necessary. Keel and Park can help you. Keel and Park. What estate planning means is a will for sure. Maybe you need a trust, maybe not. You want to pass on your business. You want to do your collectibles, your investments, all of your possessions, art, whatever it is. Here's how they do business. They took a look at everything. They take it free of charge and put together a plan. That's right. So you can meet with them. They'll put together a plan and then give you flat rate pricing. You decide how much you want to do. lawkp.com. 970-818-8198. lawkp.com. 970-818-8198.
Ow! Why is that so loud? Oh, it's a jelly spot. That would be why.
Hey, Deputy Bo.
I wouldn't have my kid over there for 5 minutes.
I don't think they're listening right
You
now.
what?
I wouldn't have my kid over at a building for 5 minutes.
Well, I would just tell him that he's on camera. If I ever see him doing it again, he's going to be in the hospital.
How manly.
Well, Tom's got a point. That's a fireable offense.
Hey, Bo. Bo.
I don't think they're listening.
Ah.
Oh, there he goes.
Bo.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, do you have is this cell number
Hey, Gene?
the one you texted
Hey,
me
it's
on?
Ken
Is that
from
your
the
cell?
Martino Show.
Yeah, that's my personal.
Yeah, I thought you were going to call Saturday.
Gave me that number to text you.
I was busy, so I'm going to call right now.
But that is your cell number, right?
That's my cell.
Okay, good. Did you ever get? Are you the one that you were looking for a Google number for yourself?
No, I don't need that.
Okay. Somebody was asking about it. Okay.
I got enough.
Maybe it was
electronics.
Chopper was asking about it.
He loves that
Vance.
technology.
Could be Vance. I think it's Vance. What do you think about Vance? Could it be Vance? You're shaking your head. You like Vance.
I don't.
Nikki.
I like Burgum.
Nope.
Do you have a troubleshooter address, Bo?
No, I don't. Yet. I'd like to get one,
Okay.
so these people aren't using my personal.
No, if you really use it, you can. Yeah. I just don't want to do it if you're not going to use it.
No, I'll use it.
His name is Doc.
Troubleshooter Show, and we try and help consumers and businesses find out the issues. We got a call from Jane Gendra about getting somebody out there to fix her appliance. If you could please give me a call at your convenience, 303-877-5213. I would love to help you out. Thank you.
Did I hear that?
Gene? Okay, I left him a message. If he gets back to me, I'll let you know. If he doesn't, I'll try him again.
You know that's crazy. That's creepy with that guy.
10 seconds, Tom.
All right.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, so welcome to the show. We have Red Rocks RS with us, Red Rocks Roof and Solar with us today, talking about solar, talking about anything on your mind, problems, questions, and complaints. One of the most common complaints, I got one today, but we've gotten them over the years, where when people build a house next to an existing home and drainage changes, what can you do? Again, if a home doesn't change the elevation of the property and doesn't substantially change it according to the county, there's nothing they have to do. Drainage goes with the natural drainage of the land. If you don't change it, even though you might now get more water onto your property, or you think you're getting more water, that's really up to you to prove it's doing any damage and that they did the changing. It's not as easy as you think to simply complain about it. Now, there are some obvious cases where people change the drainage plan, and when they do, then they have to reconcile it or do something about it. They're supposed to, if they're going to change the elevation of the land, they're supposed to get submit a drainage plan. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Red Rocks Roof and Solar, another question for you. Let me go to the camera. We got the wide shot here. Somebody wants to know, are you allowed, if you're in an area served by a utility, can you go off-grid if you want to? Are you allowed to even go off-grid? If you don't want to pay any connection fees or anything, can you use a solar system and batteries and go off-grid? Do you know?
Yeah, you can shut off the connection to the
There's
electrical
no
grid.
requirement that you're connected to the grid.
No, I mean, you're still always going to pay a connection fee, unfortunately, because they've got gas and electrical already connected. But that's usually between $8, well, it depends on the region that you're in. But yeah, you can go off-grid if you want to. People do it all the time.
They do. But then is it hard to get back on?
Well, you're already connected, so you just flip on the switch.
Oh, so you do it yourself.
Yeah, you just flip off the switch so that power can't go out to the utility and power can't come into the utility.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, and so you have people that have been able to use the solar system to completely isolate themselves, but then they won't get any net credit, right?
Yeah, but they don't need to because if they're not taking power from the grid, they don't
Okay.
have to worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, with an off-grid system, you are talking about a substantial battery investment. So that's why most folks don't do it.
So batteries would be for what percentage of the time in Colorado would we use battery drains? 30%, 40, 50, what? What do you do? Like all night? I mean, is it half the time? When do you use batteries?
Yeah, so the battery itself, to keep it healthy, has to drain down to 40% every day anyways, but you don't necessarily need that. That's just going to be extra value that you're adding in your net metering. If you're Excel territory and you're in town, you probably will never use your batteries except for maybe once or twice a year. If you're in the mountains, you might be using it once a week. Excel just came out with a new...
That's if you're on the grid.
That's if you're on the grid.
If you're off the grid, when would you use it? Half the time?
Every day. You would need it every night.
Every night, of course.
Yeah.
And would you have enough to sustain you all night?
Yeah, you would. We would build it that way.
And do people ever do generators in addition to batteries?
Yeah, I think generators are a great add-on.
And when you do generators, are you allowed to do gas or diesel generators, or are they getting strict about that?
No, you can use whatever generator you'd prefer. And honestly, if you connect the generator to the battery, that's the easiest way to do it. So the generator is powering the battery supply to go into your home, and then you need less batteries.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you keep the batteries charged, and the generator is a backup. So you have fuel, you have battery, and you have sun.
Yep.
And then the grid at the last resort.
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, and then do they have, if you're on natural gas, do they have generators that run on natural gas?
Yeah, there are.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Generac is our favorite generator company to utilize, and they've got all three. They've got solar, they've got propane, and they've got natural gas generators.
What do you mean solar generator? You mean...
It's powered by solar panels.
The
There's solar panels that pop up out of the generator and actually power the generator itself.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, it's wild.
So you don't have any fuel in the generator?
Mm-mm.
But then, okay, all right. 303-713-8255. We have more coming up, and any kind of question, problem, or complaint. And again, I want to tell you about DenverRegen.com. They are doing a number of things, but one thing is this weight loss compounding for pennies on the dollar compared to the brand names, and their business is going like crazy. You can get tirzepatide, which is the latest and greatest, or you can get semaglutide. DenverRegen.com includes all doctors, consultations, and the drug itself for just a few $100 a month. That's DenverRegen.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
It's easy afternoon driving throughout the Denver Metro. I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town as well as up north to the Fort Collins area and down south through Castle Rock to Colorado Springs. Back to town, I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again south of DIA. I-225 north and southbound, no complaints through Aurora and the Denver Tech Center. I-270 east and westbound back to intended speeds through Commerce City as well. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, high 97 today. We are expecting some clouds to roll in for some PM thunderstorms and things finally cooling down throughout the rest of the week. Tomorrow, high 90, Wednesday, high 83. The current temperature is 95 degrees with your impact traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
GenesisTotalExteriors.com. I've known Mark for 25 years, and I'll tell you, he does a great job on home improvements, everything on the outside of your house, from roofing, soffits, fascia, siding. He converts you to stucco. He can fix your stucco, windows and doors and decks and painting. He does it all. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Free estimates always. They also do mold detection and mitigation and eradication. 303-679-8509.
So, Excel just put out a $1.9 billion infrastructure upgrade plan for Colorado.
What does that mean?
So they are burying all of the mountain lines.
All of the what?
Mountain lines. Anything in the mountains that they have, they're burying.
Calling that appliance case.
What?
Because to prevent forest fires.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's just.
that's why I was talking about with like folks that are in the mountains now. Once a week they'll be using a battery or some sort of
This is
backup
serious.
because they'll be losing power every day, once a week, until all of that's completed.
I don't know, I just gotta get the guy out there to have the parts.
Isn't that
I just need
wild?
someone to go over there and put the parts in the dryer.
Oh, I didn't hear it. So is that all they have to do is go out and install?
Yeah.
Hey.
Why haven't they done it?
Well, they keep making an appointment and breaking it.
They keep what?
Good
Making an
afternoon. Thanks
appointment
for
and
calling
not
the Tom
showing up.
Martino Show.
That's what happened to this lady on the LG. She had the dishwasher installed on June 5th, and she had to wait till July 10th for that.
Now, was that an LG person or a Sears
Okay.
She bought it from LG.
Deputy Bo is here today. Are you working with Deputy
And
Bo?
then she waited, it was a 9-hour window. She took time off work and they.
I'm sorry?
I know, they
One more
do
time.
that.
It's
I'm
kind of
looking
hard
against
for me
us,
to
yeah.
understand you. Do
Up
you have
and
me on
down,
speakerphone?
down the mountains. I use the express lane.
I know.
I gladly use it. We went through so much traffic. It's amazing what people.
They used to be a
put up
good
with
company, you know?
Oh, yeah, they were.
I know, isn't that wild?
Oh, okay.
My time's worth $8 or $9 to get the hell.
You have something to...
Yeah,
And they
absolutely.
totally
We always
blew
use
it.
it for our install vehicles.
You know, they had the catalog.
Actually,
If they
I
had
head down to
gone,
Pueblo
That
after this, and
catalog
I'll be
was
using
great.
it
I still
down there.
have a Montgomery Ward catalog.
they could have been Amazon.
That's true, 'cause they
Okay,
already
all
had a
right.
book.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
All right, bye. What?
I mean, seriously,
I
they,
love this. I love the the Sears and the Montgomery Ward catalog.
they could have been Amazon.
Dragon, I'm so sad. That
Yay.
Wimbledon's gone. I have nothing to watch now.
You're an old timer. Remember that store, the Montgomery Ward store on like Broadway, and it's like off Broadway in Alameda. It was like 6 stories. It was all white.
No, I came here in '83.
Oh, I think they tore it down in the early '80s. They had to blow up that building. That was a gorgeous building. And everybody in Denver went to Montgomery Ward's on South Broadway.
Wow. All right.
What's going on?
The one of the cases, the classified documents case was dismissed against Trump.
Is that they come on tides?
Double knot.
Yeah, but that's Where the fuck is my sandwich?
Jack Smith is like out. He shouldn't have been appointed, they said, to begin with.
Trump's going to announce the vice president today, Doc.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be Scott.
Scott. Is he the black guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a good pick. I thought it might have been Rubio.
10 seconds here, Tom.
Call Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400.
Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I don't know if you guys talked about this earlier, Dragon, or not. I'm not sure what time the decision came down, but or maybe everyone talked about it already. But the case on the documents, it was dismissed against Trump for classified documents.
Yeah, I think that came down roughly around 8:30 or so our time. Yeah,
incredible. So they're saying that part of it had to do with the inappropriate appointment of Jack Smith as a prosecutor.
Correct.
So they didn't look at the merits of the case at all?
As I gather, yes.
Because if you think about it, the immunity would go into that case as well. If he said as president, he took official acts to declassify or classify, that kind of would, the immunity ruling would have gone into that as well. I mean, but what's amazing to me is how in this case, they chose to prosecute him, but not Biden, for essentially the same exact thing. But I guess they said Biden cooperated with them more. I don't know the official reasoning, other than he was a kindly old man who would get the sympathy of a jury. I mean,
well, it's obvious Joe Biden is a good guy, and Orange Man Bad is Orange Man Bad.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. But anyway, that case has been dismissed. You said that came down early this morning. That's major news. But what's really weird is that special counsel, who they said was improperly appointed, is also in on, isn't he also in on that other indictment in Georgia for election interference?
I don't.
Or is that just?
I cannot recall. To tell
or is
you the
that
truth.
just the district attorney Fannie Willis?
I think that's just Fannie.
And Fannie's case seems to be losing ground as well for election.
Yeah, that's pretty much put on hold, right?
Yeah, because, he supposedly was acting as president. But I will say this, and this is for sure. And that is the whole attitude of both candidates, and also the emails I'm getting now from Biden Harris have really cooled down compared to what they were. I mean, I was reading some stuff that just literally shocked me. I mean, I swear to God. And in fact, you know what I even thought? I really thought this. I don't think Biden and Harris personally would allow this. Some of the things they were saying, they had one bullet points list. If President Trump is elected, 1, he will become dictator on day 1. He has pledged to be a dictator. Number 2, he will do away with the U.S. He will fight to do away with the U.S. Constitution. 3, there will no longer be presidential elections. He is the most dangerous man in history, in U.S. history. We have to do everything we can to stop him. And that he will assassinate his political enemies with complete immunity. I mean, all of this is in writing out there, by the way. They can't even deny it. I mean, I swear to God, when you get emails like that, I can see where someone a little unbalanced would think, I'm doing the country a service by getting rid of him. Really, truly. Anyway, 303-713-8255. What's on your mind today? We do have Red Rocks Roof and Solar with us, and I wanted to talk about a few other things in the news. And one of them is, of course, what happened there and what's going on with the news. But we have a new report out on, I'm trying to find those stories, on dependability of used cars. Now, I know it's not car day, but it's really important because what they did was they went through a ton of stories on what is the most dependable used car and how much does it cost to maintain used cars and what are the worst used cars. And they came with a list of the used cars to avoid based on, they say, statistics. Now, this is Consumer Reports, by the way. They unveiled its list of 60 used cars to avoid. They said after scouring data from its members, now remember, this is by members who say their experience with dependability was. And this does not match, which is important, this does not match what my experts say. Here it says Ford and Chevy are the most guilty parties as far as reliability. My mechanics say that they are really, really good, Fords and Chevys. So I don't understand that. So, but Ford and Chevy each had 7 vehicles on the list. And according to Consumer Reports, the cars with the absolute worst scores were the 2021 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, the 2021 Jeep Wrangler, the 2023 Nissan Frontier. I'm surprised to see a Nissan on there with the worst scores. The Rivian, the 2022 Rivian, and the 2021 Volkswagen Jetta. And they said as far as bad manufacturers for EVs, God, there are a number of them, a number of EVs that are supposedly bad news. Among them, as you would think, yes, Tesla is on there as well. So like I've always said, Consumer Reports now, and I'm telling you, they don't really necessarily talk to a lot of experts or do a lot of surveys. They do surveys for consumers. That's why it's Consumer Reports. And this is solely on the experience of consumers and their experiences, which I think can be pretty accurate. But I often say this, consumers who have any problems yell the most, right? So it can be skewed for people who are angry. Then you might say, but still it tells you a story because the ones more angry might have reason to be more angry. Now, in general, Consumer Reports finds that EVs in general are less reliable than conventional cars according to their surveys. So think about that. And if you want to know reliability readings, of course, I'm taking all this from Consumer Reports, which again is based on owner surveys. There is no magic matrix.
No, but Tom, I think Consumer Reports is excellent when they test products. That's a real strength.
Okay.
When they say what's the best vacuum cleaner, what's the best air fryer, what's the best...
Yeah, I imagine that. They don't have a dog in a fight. You're right.
But that's their real forte. You're right about the survey. But when it comes to testing products, you can't beat them because, like you say, they don't have a dog in the fight.
Right. They don't accept advertising at all and all of that. Now, one thing, though, that did bother me years ago about Consumer Reports, one thing. The Suzuki. Remember that little Suzuki SUV that rolled over, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is that they really did not compare it to others that were similar. And what the way that started was somebody there who worked there owned a Suzuki and had a problem. And then I feel this was back years and years and years ago. It doesn't speak to them right now. I feel like they went after Suzuki specifically because of an employee there who wanted to go after them. They weren't really substantially any worse than the Ford Bronco and all of those. Again, I remember at the time thinking it was unfair. I can't really, to be fair, I can't tell you why exactly, but it was a number. Man, that little Suzuki SUV that they did. And then over the years, of course, I think in general they're very dependable. I mean, who can say they're not, right? They're they are. And most of their stuff is driven by surveys. And as far as their testing of products, as I said, they're not behooving. They're not, they don't have any advertisers they have to please. And they're able to say what they like and don't like. And they don't care. And so I think that's important. Anyway, we have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have Brooke White with us from RedRocksRS.com. And don't forget, if you have any kind of problems, questions, or complaints, you can give us a call at 303-MARTINO 24/7 and get help at any time. Leave your name and number, and we will call you back. More right after this.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
It's easy afternoon driving throughout the Denver Metro. I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town as well as up north to the Fort Collins area and down south through Castle Rock to Colorado Springs. Back to town, I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again south of DIA. I-225 north and southbound, no complaints through Aurora and the Denver Tech Center. I-270 east and westbound back to intended speeds through Commerce City as well. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, high 97 today. We are expecting some clouds to roll in for some PM thunderstorms and things finally cooling down throughout the rest of the week. Tomorrow, high 90, Wednesday, high 83. The current temperature is 95 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Have you had enough of this heat? Well, there is something you can do to help ease the burden of your air conditioner and save you some money. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, I am a customer. I want to make that clear. And QCcolorado.com put in one of these systems for me several years ago, and then another one a few years ago. And both did exactly what they promise. First and foremost, they circulate and even out the temperatures in your home. That alone helps your air conditioner work less by bringing up cool air from bottom levels and expelling the hottest of the hot out of the upper levels into your attic and out through your roof. It's a wonderful system to have. And I'll tell you what, you don't have to run your air all day. You can come home and turn that on and cool your house down in seconds. It's a great system to have. They can do it in just a few hours, and you will save money. I've saved 60, 70, sometimes 80% on AC, and that's QCcolorado.com. The number 303-800-3419. Hey, if you want to save money in auto repairs and maintenance, SheridanAutotech.com. They have great value and lower prices than most, but what I really love about them is their dependability and honesty and their convenience. Plenty of parking on Colfax west of Wadsworth, and also they do pre-buy inspections on used cars and all electrical issues. Everything you want in auto repair. You can find them at SheridanAutotech.com or give them a call, 303-455-7242.
Did you guys take Lance to the festival?
Yep. He was having fun.
I love that.
Got hot around 2, 3 o'clock, so they were like, Mom and Dad were like, all right, we're leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show. What kind of insurance? Home insurance or car?
Frog insurance.
Okay, what's your name? Bob, B-O-B. And you said it was life insurance? Okay. All right, hang on for me. What's up with you, computer? Why are you being like this? Stop it.
Hey Tom, could I go through an equity partner quickly on the air? Instead of selling your tax credit, an equity partner is actually a better route to go.
Sure, let's talk about it for sure.
Okay.
And then also you talked about do the new upgrades mean something good for consumers? New upgrades for...
I think after the infrastructure is done, then yes, because right now
He said
Excel's
small fee
shutting
when
off
you
their
win.
power proactively with the wind being too high or anything else. So once they have that,
40% is a
they're
small
going to
fee.
do less power outages, right? So in like 2 or 3 years, it'll be great. But
Smaller than
well,
60%.
I say 2 or 3 years. It just depends on how long it takes them to do all those changes. But in the meantime, the consumer is paying for that $1.9 billion
Like the
infrastructure
first
increase.
year
So that's why
where
there was
I'm
another
so not
118%
interested in
increase in April. There'll probably
And
be
I
something
usually
similar
am
in
like
September
a
or in
junkie,
October.
especially since, you know, it's one
Every
of the only
April and October,
times I could ever see diving.
Excel and Black Hills get to
Because it's in
modify their
Paris, France.
because they're controlled by the
That
PUC.
and
I'd say election, but it's every year there's a.
I don't want to be
summer
preached to about climate
10
change.
seconds, Tom!
You can't listen to a weather
630
report without
KL.
being...
Violence and vitriol because the media wants it is ridiculous.
Denver's talk station.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. All right, guess what? When it comes to college education, do you know that in a survey of college graduates, this isn't crazy, 36% said they're using their degree or it was worth it. 36%. Wow. I mean, that's a very...
Is it shocking that it's higher than I thought?
Is it higher than you thought? Wow.
No, that is higher than what I thought they would say. Is that shocking?
I don't know, man. I thought more people than that would say they got something out of their education, don't you? I mean, 30...
I thought lower, to be honest with you, with all the different kind of... I have a history arts major. Well, what are you doing that
And
with
it
that
says
in the
that
real
now
world?
these are the students themselves, let alone America. Right now, and Gallup and the Lumina Foundation did some surveying and found that, actually, I'm sorry, 36% of all adults say that they got little or nothing out of their college. Or no, excuse me, 36% said, they liked their college, 36. So the majority said they don't have confidence in their education. So that's 57%.
So
From 57%, it declined, right?
my
I think it
husband's
shows up in other ways, Tom.
My husband's in the IT industry, and he
Yeah.
always talks about how his degree is just a piece of paper. He learned way more on the job, doing experience type
And
stuff.
most colleges are outdated what they're teaching anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he learned what COBOL, which is
Yeah.
from the 40s. I mean, the only people that still use that is John Deere, so it's not even relevant. So I believe that most of the folks that or my generation that I went to college with aren't using their degree. They're in a different industry, or it wasn't helpful.
Now, so actually, out of the 36...
I think she's...
Go ahead.
I think she's right as far as specifics go. But I think when you go through 4 years of a college education, it makes you more of a rounded person. It gives you a much better perspective on what's going on around you and a greater understanding of the world. And it may not be specific to your
right now, 67% of respondents say college is in the wrong direction, and compared to 31% who feel it's going in the right direction. And then the other people who say that about they're not down on education. They're talking about college. I mean, a lot of people are going for trades or for other training, like real estate licenses and other kinds of professional skills that don't require a degree. So, you know, and I say real estate license, that's one of them. But there are several kinds of industries now where you have to take competency tests, but you're not required to have an underlying degree. And I know what you're saying, Doc. That argument has been made time and time again about college, making you well-rounded. And I've always called it like a halfway house. Kids get out and they get to live at a dorm or on their own in an apartment with other kids, and it is a halfway house to adulthood possibly, but in some cases, I think it's artificial, and kids learn a lot of stuff that's not real, in my opinion. It turns them a lot of times into idiots. I mean, I've talked to kids who were pretty intelligent in high school that go off to college and get the craziest ideas at college. I'm serious, but I know what you mean. I mean, in general, if you meet enough people over time with an exchange of ideas, it is helpful in a way. But that's a hell of a lot of money to spend to meet people and to become well-rounded. Anyway, we got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, 303-713-8255. Will you have the income you need?
College degree does make you more well. A college degree does make you.
Another thing about it is when you go to apply for a position,
And it
they're
helps you
asking
get
for
that
all
job
of
if
the
you're
certifications
in a
that
company and you got
you don't
5
actually
people applying for the
have
job,
to
you know,
have
you get a
as far as degrees go.
Yeah,
Right,
that's,
okay, yeah.
that's artificial. 'Cause
So-
it may not make you a better person for a specific job,
So,
but it makes you a better person.
Because I just
in
read
life
a
and in
study
society.
on that the other day that was
You
talking
know, you
about,
can't
like,
tell me that if you have a real estate agent who's
like
doing
to answer
high,
the phones, they're asking
you
you to
know,
have a
high
4-year
priced
BS
homes,
degree, and it's
that
like,
being
why would a
articulate
receptionist
and
need to
knowledgeable
have this,
doesn't
and
make a
how
difference.
people think you need a degree
I
to
think
do
it does
something,
with
so it's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah,
it doesn't
more-
really mean anything. Does
Yeah,
that
you
make
can
sense?
understand things. It really
Mhm,
proves that
yeah.
you can read and write and speak public speaking.
absolutely.
You know,
Try
Doc,
to-
I live in Lakewood.
Yeah.
And in Lakewood, it's one of the only police agencies in the state of Colorado where the chief makes every officers have a college degree.
Really?
He really got knocked down for that at the city council, and he says, I said, our police officers dealing with people with, you know, you gotta be able to reason, think on your feet, be well-rounded. It's kind of the same things. And that's been implemented for 10 years, and that's a great police department.
I
He
know.
says you'll never get anyone to apply because Denver pays more with a high school
Really?
education. Denver is, those guys make like 80 a year with a high school.
Wow.
But Lakewood, it's just more, you know, they dress better, it's more of a professional.
I've always felt that most policemen go there because they have nothing better to do. They are people who have gotten through high school and have no future. They don't want to go to college. They're usually bullies for the
Yeah,
most
they're
part.
kind of little hard asses, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but Lakewood, yeah, all those, if you ever get pulled, every Lakewood cop has to have a college degree. And if you're on the fence a couple of months away from the degree, the chief says, well, go get your degree and come back. It can be an art, they just want you to have one.
Well, it's like, what good did calculus do me as far as my profession?
Yeah.
I mean, microbiology, organic chemistry, that stuff. But advanced algebra and calculus, I never used that.
Did you have to take calculus?
Oh, yeah.
For your medical stuff?
I had to take it in, I took it, yeah.
That is hard. I couldn't hack that calculus.
You
don't need that for medical. Was you just for your
No,
undergrad?
I don't never used it. But, it's funny. I was talking to my cousin the other day.
I don't know why.
For some reason, all the men in my family on that side, of my mom's side,
You know why?
were great at science
I swear
and
to
math.
God, I actually
But at the same
slept
time,
really good
we had
last night, and I think
zero
that's, like, fucking me
talent
up.
when it comes to music.
When I sleep
I mean, I
worse,
don't think I could have learned to
I am
play an instrument. I don't have that in me.
more alert.
Right.
But when I could look at it,
Doesn't make any
when I
sense,
was in
but-
college, I could look at an equation and solve it like that because I just had that ability.
You had the
but
knack for it.
but when it came to music or some other things, I just didn't have it.
Yeah.
Music and languages were my two bugaboos.
Yeah. I didn't like language. And
Some people are just polyglots. They can pick up languages. They just have the knack
yeah, they
for
can
it.
just hear it and repeat it and retain it.
Right.
Yeah,
So
my
we
wife
all
was
have different skills. But I say all the boys in my mom's side of the family
had that ability.
were
They're
really
great.
good in math and science. And vocabulary. Yeah, those are the three things. Which is lucky because that's what they test to see what your IQ is and how smart you are.
Language and vocabulary.
Yeah, but, they don't. I mean, it's math and English.
Selfish bastard? Oh, wait. That was...
Yeah, you have a good vocabulary, Doc.
Well,
how many
I
deaths?
was.
You
Tell us
know
how many
how I
deaths?
know? Because I think
How
I
many
was
deaths?
watching YouTube. You used the word non sequitur.
COVID's death. How many deaths?
Well, I bet 90% of the people that are on YouTube don't know. They should not know what that means.
Well,
Nope.
I was in the
Is that a year
perfect.
Latin?
I was at the right place, right time.
Chad wouldn't.
In the 50s and 60s,
I like that.
you couldn't get a better education,
Funny. I like it.
K through 12, than New York City.
Really?
They had the best teachers, the best curriculum, and nobody went to private school.
No offense to the
because
people that are getting
the-
sick with it.
the
You ain't dead.
education we got in the public schools
Doesn't
was so much
scare me.
better.
It was better.
Oh, and there's a book called Outliers. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's really interesting. He talks about all these right place, right time kind of things. And one of the things he said was if you were in New York in the 50s and 60s, your education was beyond reproach.
Almost
And-
college type education.
Yeah. Another example, this is really, what I thought was interesting, was hockey players in Canada.
So there's a hole in his ear?
If you're born
or
on
do you think
January
it's just
1st,
partially
I'm
ripped
saying
off,
1970,
or
and you're born on
Will
December
it be
31st,
noticeable?
1970, you get put
because he's
all
going to
in
wear
the
a
same
bandage on
age
it
group.
for as long as
So
you
the
can.
kids that were born early
You're
in
gonna
the
get
year,
that sympathy of wearing the
if they're in
bandage,
like,
plus it's pretty vain, so he's
whatever,
not really going to want to show it off.
10-year-old
But he
hockey,
should during
they're a
his
year older,
Yeah.
basically,
Once he's
than
done
the
with
kids
his presidency, he'll
that
get
were
it
born
fixed.
later in the year.
Yeah.
But
So what happens?
how bad
They're
is
bigger
it?
and stronger. They get more
Well, it was a
coaching.
nip,
More coaching they
right?
get, the bigger and
So,
stronger
just
they
the
become.
top
Which is why he said
Here, so you'd
80 or
think that
90%
he would have
of hockey all-stars
plastic surgeon
were all
or
born in
somebody.
January,
Yeah,
February,
but
March.
not yet. Don't do that yet. You want that
And,
sympathy for your entire
It's
presidency.
just things like that. And like,
But he's
with,
vain.
well,
Considering, look at his
my
hair.
mom is Jewish, right? So,
And gold
so he said,
toilets
what-
in his
What
house.
happened was
So,
that
yeah.
when we
yeah,
had
he
the
may-
influx of
he
Europeans
may have already
in the early,
had to
the
fix it
turn
up.
of the century, in like 1905 to 1910,
Yeah.
when Jews came
gotta wear a
over,
bandage over your
they were
ear for the next
adapted to the city life
8-9 weeks.
because they couldn't own land. So they were tailors or bookkeepers or office managers,
At least-
whereas the other people became farmers and so they moved out of the cities into Wisconsin and and the
10 seconds!
the Midwest.
This That's bonus. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. Here again to help you solve problems, answer questions, and take complaints. I have Brooke with me from Red Rocks Roof and Solar. We can do anything you want as far as topics and concerns. Right now, Bob wants to talk about life insurance, and we handle it all, folks. Everyday aches and pains, the things that tick you off, the things that make you tick. What's going on, Bob?
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Bob, what's happening?
Hey, it's just another day in paradise. My wife and I are both in our 70s, and probably 35, 40 years ago, I bought a life insurance policy for her. It's a whole life variable premium life insurance. And it cost me like $10,000, but the theory was the interest earned on that $10,000 would pay the premiums, which it did for about 20 years.
Right, and then at such time it does not pay the premiums. It takes from cash value.
Yeah, so every year this thing has gone up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Last year it was $4,000. This year it was $5,000. We thought we paid that. Now we just got a letter saying, no, you owe us $3,000 more. Next year it's going up again. My question is this just normal policy, or are they jerking us around?
Let's get Joe Chiano on. He knows more about life insurance he forgot more about life insurance than most people know. It could be either one. First of all, well, let me put it to you really. I shouldn't say it could be either one. Most of the time, major insurance companies are not going to rip you off, okay? I mean, they're not going to lie to you to try to steal some money from you. But here's the deal. These life insurance products all have benefits and they all have disadvantages. So it's both. In your particular case, do you know what you really bought? Was it called variable? What was it called? The actual product you bought?
Variable premium.
Was it called
variable premium?
Okay, whole life variable premium, right?
Correct.
And how long did you make a lump sum payment?
Initially, it was like $10,000.
Okay. Then when you made that payment, did you make any other premium payments?
Not for a long, long time, because every year, interest earned paid the premium.
Okay. Then when it stopped, were you ever notified that the interest was no longer paying the premium?
Correct, yes. Probably 15, 18 years ago.
Okay, and when that happened, what did you do?
Well, they started billing us like $1,000 a year.
And did you pay it?
1,500 a year.
Right, and did you pay it?
Oh yeah, no, everything's been paid.
Okay, so you didn't just let it sit.
One reason I'm asking you. I'm sorry?
You didn't just let it sit. Back 15 years ago, when your interest stopped paying the payment, the premium, did you continue to make payments on your own, right?
Yes. Well, they sent us a bill annually, and we paid the bill.
And on that bill, this is really important, on that bill, did they show a cash value and what the interest paid and then what was the balance, or did they show no longer did you have a cash value?
No, there was no cash balance when they started billing us.
So your interest was zero.
It wasn't earning enough to pay the premiums any longer.
That's what I'm getting at.
Apparently.
But did it show did it show what it was earning?
No, they won't tell us anything. They won't tell us anything about the policy. And one of the reasons I'm calling you, probably half a dozen times they've tried to cancel us. They were wrong every time they've done it, but they just kept playing these games with your head. and it's just been a constant fight with them.
All right, so right now, and I need all this for Joe Chiano, so I'm hoping you get him on, Kachina. Right now, I'm asking these questions because he's going to want to know. I want to know, do you have coverage right now, or are they lapsing it?
No, we have coverage right now. They tried to lapse it again, but we fought them, and they've reinstated.
And how did you fight them?
Well, what they'll do, they'll tell you, we sent you a notice of payment, and you didn't pay it, so you're canceled. Well, they didn't send us a notice. And we go back and forth, and finally they go, oh, that's right. Maybe some of y'all didn't get the notice. You're reinstated.
And okay, but what about this $3,000 they said was due? What was that?
Well, they're just saying that we paid them almost $5,000, which was what we thought we owed for the year. 30 days before the end of the year comes up, they're going, no, that's not enough. You owe us $2,900 more, $3,000 more, whatever.
So basically, back when the money ran out, the interest stopped paying the premium. What was your premium yearly normally? About what?
Oh, it was only like $1,000 a year.
But recently you said it went way up.
Oh, every year it's going up and up and up and up. That's my only question is that the way this policy works?
That's what I'm going to ask Joe Chiano. I got Joe Chiano.
The way they've treated us.
Okay, hold on. Joseph Chiano, in addition to doing fixed indexed annuities, they do overfunding whole life, but the products he has are different from what you're talking about. He doesn't mess with a lot of these what I call tricky insurance policies, but he certainly knows about them. So, Joe, are you listening? Joe?
Yes.
Years ago, how many years ago did you start the policy, Bob?
Probably a good 35, 40 years ago.
Okay, so Joe, about 35, 40 years ago, as you heard, he starts a variable premium life insurance policy with a lump sum payment of about 10 grand. Okay. Then, for many years, the interest paid the premium. Am I right so far, Bob?
Correct.
And then after how many years did they say, okay, now you have to start paying again?
I'm roughly probably 20 years.
Okay,
more than
so
that,
for 20 years, Joe, that 10 grand seemed to generate enough income to pay us premiums. Then they said you have to start paying again. And so back about 20 years ago, he starts paying $1,000 a year to $2,000 and $3,000. And now your last premium payment was how much?
Well, it started out at $5,000, but they want $3,000 more.
Okay, so and so to renew next year, when will it be another $8 grand? Do you know, or will it even go up more?
It'll be more.
Okay, Joe.
They've already told us it'll be more.
And what's the name of the company?
It originally started with Great West, and somebody else has taken them over, and I don't know the name.
Joe, do you know about these policies? Is this how they work?
They do, Tom. And what is your caller's first name?
Bob.
Bob. Yeah, unfortunately, those policies are what they call variable life insurance policies. That means that you either have a variable universal life or you just have variable life. Now, what it means is that the policy is made up of two elements. You have a cash value element and you have a death benefit element, okay? Now, unfortunately, we're getting older, so your cost of insurance on those type of policies will go up every year, the older you get. So if you're only paying the minimum premium payment into the policy, they're going to ask you for more money. And eventually, what happens with those policies, people cannot afford to keep them.
So Joe, isn't it almost like having term?
Term with a cash account, basically.
But his cash account, what happened to his original 10 grand? Was it exhausted?
Probably with the cost of insurance. Are you paying only the minimum premium, Bob, or are you paying more than what they're asking you to pay?
No, we're just paying what they're asking us to pay.
Okay, so that is basically the minimum payment.
It sounds, Joe, a lot like a term policy to me.
It is. It is a term policy with a cash rider on it. So basically, if
I had been if every year I'd have been putting more money into that policy, I wouldn't have this problem today.
That is right. That is right, and you would have had some cash accumulation.
Yeah, but and
Now,
and by the way, I don't love these policies, neither does Joe, but to their defense, you did go about 20 years without paying a premium.
Right. Correct. Right. See, so you got basically, the cost of insurance was covering because of your age. I mean, your cash value was covering the cost of insurance because of your younger age.
But I got an idea, Joe. I want to ask you a question. And I didn't call Joe for this reason, Bob. I swear to God I didn't. But, Bob, you may not want to keep this policy is what I'm saying. If you have no cash value, tell me the benefit, Joe, for him keeping it. Is it because now that he has it, they can't take it away or what? What would be the benefit of keeping it if the cost gets so expensive?
Well, if you were to change the policy, Bob, it's going to cost you more money because you're older probably now.
How old are you now, Bob?
Well, it's on my wife. She's 76.
It's her policy, and she's 76. Okay. So it would be really hard to get her a policy, Joe. Let's ask you this: what is the death benefit, Bob?
$250.
Oh my God, $250,000. So Joe, what would a term policy cost a 76-year-old woman for $250?
Yeah, I can calculate that, Bob. But the thing is, though, we have to be realistic. Because as we get older, our insurability goes down. So,
of course,
depending on her health, is she a healthy woman?
Yeah, she's pretty healthy.
Okay,
the
she has no
question
problem.
is it worth keeping the policy?
That's what we're trying to figure out. That's exactly. So, Bob, hang on.
Next year, it's going to be $15,000 a year after that.
Okay, hang on.
She's going to have to die to make it.
No, I get it, Joe. I want you to do some figuring. He has a $250,000 death benefit. She's 76 years old. Is it worth him going on with this, or what else can he look at, if anything? And sometimes Sometimes people don't need insurance. It depends on what you're insuring, Bob. If you think you need her and her income for some reason, you may not need insurance on her. I know that sounds weird, but not everyone needs insurance. You hang on. Joe is going to do some calculating. We'll talk about it coming right up. Now listen.
Regen Revolution has helped me so much in being mobile and active again.
Are you listening?
And now
Yeah.
Okay.
And you.
Because I have Joe on here, I'm going to give his number out
in
and do all that.
Arvada.
So I'm going to fill this one with something else.
Okay.
All right, thanks. But he'll still be done, though.
Regen Revolution.
Yep, you got it.
Thanks, man.
Of regenerative medicine and more traditional treatment modalities have gotten me back to being able to play sports and exercise in ways I thought I might never do again. Learn more at regenrev.com. That's REGENREV.com.
Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. In addition to being an excellent negotiator, an excellent broker, and selling for more money and faster than the market, you know what else he does? Free evaluations of your home to see what it will sell for based on his 30 years of experience. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. If you're wondering, what will it sell for? He'll tell you. He'll tell you what you'll net and what you can buy on the market. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Hey, Genesis Total Exteriors. The name says it all. Everything on the outside of your house. Of course, they also do other remodeling. It's a great company, a construction company you can depend on. They even do mold detection and mitigation. In this day and age where there are so many shysters out there in the construction business, you can trust Genesis. I've known Mark for 25 years. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. 303-679-8509. Now, another company I highly recommend, Made in the Shade. If you're looking for window coverings, you want great people like Made in the Shade. They come to your house and measure and give you suggestions from a designer free of charge. If you decide to move forward, they try to hit your budget and get you the stuff you want: high-tech, low-tech, in-between tech, cell phone stuff, solar-powered shades, shutters, blinds, whatever you want, they have. Made in the Shade. It's denvershades.co, and the number is, that's denvershades.co, and here's their number, 720-458-6566. Now,
Randy Cromwell.
thanks.
Yep. they did a thing. Trump wins the Republican nomination. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I'm into that.
There it is.
I miss my cat.
One that tried to kill you?
A couple times.
Local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So we're talking to Bob, who, by the way, like a lot of people, end up paying for stuff, okay? And I was just talking to Brooke off the air. Companies do it, individuals do it, people do it. It's called not minding the store. You just figure, I need this, let me do it. And in some cases, people pay for insurance, and Joe Chiano is our insurance expert on a lot of stuff, including life insurance. But Joe, the sad fact is, I bet you run into a lot of seniors who have life insurance policies they paid for years and years and years, and they're really not even worth having. I mean, let's just be honest about it.
That is absolutely right. A lot of people, maybe they just they get sold basically into the wrong policy for the wrong reasons. And that universal life has that danger of...
Yes, if you don't get the right kind. Now, not all life insurance is good. Not all life insurance is bad. There's a time for term. There's a time for investment grade policies. There's a time for, I would say of all of them, Joe, variable is my worst kind. I don't like them.
It is. It is. Any kind of variable universal life or any universal life in particular, they have that component of the term insurance.
And this is why with universal or with some variables, they're considered almost a security, right? And they're not.
It is.
Yeah. It's not, which means it's not a guaranteed product.
That is right.
Whenever somebody talks securities, it's not guaranteed. So that's why variable annuity is a security. Fixed indexed annuities are not securities because they're guaranteed. Right. So now with Bob, with what he's paying, it could be $8,000, $10,000, $15,000. She's 76. She gets a $250,000 payout, or he does, or whoever does. What have you found? Did you do some number crunching?
What I found, Bob, is that, in all frankness, I think you should keep what you have. I hate to say that, But you know what? It would cost you over $20,000 a year to insure your wife for $250,000.
So it's the cheapest option now that it's in place.
Right. I mean, it's the cheapest. I mean, if you're paying, whatever you're paying right now is not $20,000 a year. Right.
Right. It's Bob. What is it? You're saying you 8,000.
This isn't money that we need. It's something we were just going to leave to the kids.
Well,
so do I
okay.
even need to go forward with it?
No, you don't. You don't.
You don't need to do that. If most people buy those type of policies when they have a family that's growing up, like little children.
Exactly.
Just in case.
So, Bob, I want to ask you something. How much income do you and your wife have right now, income-wise?
Oh, it's not much. It's 80,000, but we have no bills. We don't owe anybody anything.
Okay, but let me explain something. In your estate, there's a reason I'm asking. What is your estate worth? What you own, not what you make, what you own.
Probably $750, something like that.
Okay. What I'm saying to you is, Bob, and your kids, how many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids, both grown.
Okay. And how old are they?
They're in their 40s.
Are they successful?
Yes, they don't need this money.
Then here's what I was going to say, Bob, and I mean this sincerely. I would say to my 2 kids, if you want to continue paying the premium, we'll leave it to you as beneficiaries. If not, we're not going to pay it anymore. I mean, if they want to pay it, that would be an option for them to decide because you were going to leave it to them anyway. If you have your house paid for, no bills, and 70, 80,000, that's a big portion of your income for nothing. And I would recommend, if I were talking to you, I would recommend that unless you needed that payout. And by the way, do you have insurance, Bob?
Yes.
Okay, what kind do you have?
I still don't even know. It's about 100,000. It's older than I am, but it's still there.
How much do you pay on it?
I don't pay anything on it.
How do you know it's still in force?
Don't ask me what it is because I don't have any idea.
How do you know it's still in force, Bob?
Because I get notices from them every year.
Good. You know what you ought to do, and I swear to God, Joe won't try to sell you anything, not a thing. He just told you if you want to insure her, just keep what you have. But you ought to call him off the air. He's a good man. He'll just talk to you, and he won't try to sell you a thing because you're at an age now where you don't need anything right now. You have good income. You have a good life. I'm telling you, you're wasting some money here, Bob. You are.
Well, here's our other thought, and what you said was exactly what we were talking about them paying it. But I don't want to give them stuff paying $15,000-$20,000 a year. We were thinking about just putting $7,000-$8,000 in a savings account, canceling this policy.
Right.
And when she passes, they just get that.
You could do that too.
Yeah, a lot of wealthy people, they use life insurance, to transfer their not their wealth, but to create a legacy for the children. It's like almost like a real kind of a morbid, thought. But a lot of the kids are buying policies on their parents and grandparents because they know even if they pay $15,000 a year, your longevity, you're 76 years old basically.
Hey, shut up, Joe.
I know. I mean, just think about that.
I know.
You're not going to last that long, basically. So they're going to have a great return if they're going to get $250,000 death benefit.
Correct.
Yeah, but listen, you can leave that choice to them, Bob. But that much money you guys can live on. That's not a bad idea. If you put that money away, okay. Let's say you guys have 10 more good years to you, okay. If you put $7 or $8 grand away every year, or however you want to do it, or 10 grand a year, that would be a substantial amount of money. And again, I'm not trying to sell you anything, but even if you did that in a fixed annuity, I mean, that would be something to leave them that would generate income. But I'm not saying to do that. I am not saying to do that. I'm saying that there are a lot of other better things to do with your money than pay for this piece of crap variable life insurance.
Well, we say it's a piece of crap, but it's protected her for 40 years. So
No. You're absolutely right. And if you looked at the total money you put in, you're right. You probably got a hell of a deal because you put 10 in to begin with, and then you put another. If you looked at all in, how much have you paid since inception for 40 years?
Probably in the last 15, 20 years, we probably paid 30, 40 grand.
And then you add to it 10. So for 50 grand, let's say you got 40 years of coverage. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
That is not bad.
No, it's not. And so it's really up to you if you want to continue it. Like I said, there's nothing all good or all bad about anything. I mean, you really have to be reasonable here. I used to be an absolute person. Don't do this, do this. There's no such thing. As you get older, you realize that. But I'm just not sure if you can't put that money to better use. Unless you think she might die within 5 or 10 years, it would be well worth to continue it.
Yeah, she's got at least another good 10, 12 years. She's in good health.
Yeah, it's really up to you because at some point you're putting in another, if that's the case, you're going to be putting in more than 100, 125, 150,000 for 250. Yep. So it may not be worth it. And that's the whole idea about life insurance. They design it so you don't make the money they do.
Yeah.
Joe, right?
Yeah, like I say, the only reason I had an issue was that, like I say, they kept trying to cancel us, so I didn't know whether they were playing games. I didn't know what it was. But what you say makes sense. We just have to decide how we want to handle it.
Or let your kids take on the burden. It's kind of morbid, but it's an investment. I swear to God, they might say, Dad, we'll each pay half of that. Who knows what they'll say? And you're also going to leave them yours too, so they're going to have that on top of it. So this is something you get together as a family and you do. By the way, do you have, and I'm really not trying to sell all my sponsors, but do you have an estate plan? Do you have a basic plan?
No.
You need a basic will.
So simple.
You need a simple will.
Yeah, we've got a basic will.
Okay, good. That's really all you need. I mean, really, truly. With what you have and what you described, a basic will would probably take care of that. And just make sure it's updated, Bob. Just make sure everything is updated. That's all.
Let me ask you something real quickly, Bob. Is there any way that you can call the company, just call your the life insurance company that we're talking about, and ask them what would be the required premium? The most minimum premium, the required premium to keep the policy in force.
They won't tell you.
Well, they should.
Well, we've asked them, and their deal is we don't know how much it's going to be because of the way this policy was written. Everything supposedly works on how much they make off the investment, what we put in.
Right.
They don't make any money. We pay more.
Joe,
money, we pay less.
That's the part, Joe. That's the problem with the, variable part of that.
And I've been talking about this for years now, Tommy.
That's
right.
You
know that.
That's right.
It's including annuities, too. That's the same way they work.
Right. You want something...
And people get the surprise. At the end, they get a surprise.
That's right.
Bob has gotten a surprise.
But thanks for calling, Bob. Let me give out Joseph's number because truly, not everyone wants an annuity. Not everyone wants insurance, but he will be honest with you. 303-779-6600. He's a good man. You can talk to him about anything. 303-779-6600. MyMoneyMyWay.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Michael Brown tomorrow morning at 6:30 KHOW Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
A fairly easy drive with a couple scrapes and bruises out there for the 1 o'clock hour. I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town. I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again. Heading to the south end, Parker Road north and southbound. We've got an accident closing the intersection at South Emporia Street. The road is closed between Iliff and Jewel. Watch out for detours and crews around the area. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, PM thunderstorms. We're looking at a high of 97 before those clouds roll in. Overnight low of 64. It's going to be rainy the next few days with dropping temperatures. Finally, tomorrow high 90. The current temperature in Denver is 95 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Hey, let's talk about Discount Bath. These are names you don't see often in a company name, Discount and Bath, but I love the way they do business because they want to give you quality, beautiful, even luxurious baths at a discount price. And here's what's easy. You can call them. They'll discuss it right on the phone. So you know what? It doesn't take a long time to find out what deal you can make on a half bath, a full bath, a master bath. And what you can do is get tear out and haul away free. 720-979-2322. Call them and find out what they can do for you. What I like about these guys is they're right up front, transparent with everything. 720-979-2322, discountbath.com. John Fuller. Call him if you ever have an accident, if you're injured, if you need help. He loves talking to people, and he'll talk to you personally. You're not going to be shuttled to some call center, some intake committee. Nope. You're going to talk to John. And what happens is you ask him your questions, you get free legal advice, and if you decide it's a good fit, there's no obligation. He'd love to represent you because he will only take the number of cases that he will work personally. You even get a cell phone number you can call or text at any time, and that's the truth. myaccidentlawyer.co, 303-597-4500. You know, what I wish is...
So what are you going to do today, Doc? Go home and just stay cool?
No, I got my poker game Monday afternoon.
Oh, at your house, right?
Yep. It's Monday afternoon from 3 to 10. And Tuesday from 11 to 4.
3 to 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to do some big gambling.
There's some pretty... We had a $6,000 pot last week.
Oh, you did? Did somebody get... Who got it?
Well,
split it all up? No one got the whole $6,000.
No. Someone got $3,000.
Wow.
And two people split $3,000.
Oh.
So when a pot gets that, it's pretty unusual for someone to win, because the reason it gets that big is because
people are bowing out.
No, because it's usually we play high-low. Like that one particular game, it's high-low. Yeah. So when you have three people in that much money, you know they've got the best hand. It's whether you have two highs and one low, or two lows and one high.
Oh.
But you don't put that much money in.
How many people were playing? Just 3?
No. By the end of the.
By the end of that.
Of the betting.
Yes.
No, we have 9 people.
Oh. Be here Wednesday, right?
What?
You come in Wednesday, right?
I'll be on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as usual.
Yeah, I stay out of here Tuesday. That's the chopper day. Some nice cloud cover out there, Doc.
Well, it's going to be
black.
Luckily, it's going to be in the 80s this weekend.
Damn right, we need it.
So I'll get to play golf.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Obama. Obama only served, 1 year in the Senate before he was elected. This guy's only been in the Senate for 2 years.
Oh. he's definitely an unknown God. You man. To us. To us, yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Okay, Uma, we had you on the show before, and you have a follow-up. So I'm looking for your original call here. And who worked with you on our staff here, Uma? Let's see, it was... no one. I told you you had Blue Ribbon Construction, right? And it was in fall of 2021. Your roof was fixed, but you had interior damage that was not fixed. And then you said this was very confusing to me. You said your insurance contractor sued your insurance company and got a settlement, right?
Right.
But I never understood that because that Blue Ribbon Construction Company had no standing to sue your insurance company unless they claimed they did work for you that they didn't get paid for. So I asked you to find out some information for me. What did you find out?
I sent all the paperwork in on July 7th. To your
I got that paperwork, but we were waiting to hear from you. Did you talk to them since you talked to us or not?
No.
Okay, Uma, I might be misunderstanding then. I'm sorry, dear. You were expecting us to contact them?
No, I wanted to ask you what I can do. You see, my daughter is a quadriplegic. She got out of the hospital this Friday on July 12th. We have no kitchen sink. We have no kitchen counters. You know, we can't take care of her.
Okay, no, I know.
We have no lights in the hallways.
Let me get this straight, though. Your insurance company claims they paid for all of that. Is that right?
Yes.
But you didn't get the money. It went directly to Blue Ribbon Construction. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when you call Blue Ribbon Construction and you tell them, hey, I see where you got money for this, what do they say about it?
Or they just keep putting stuff off. Like I said.
Okay, I'm sorry. Here's what we're going to do.
And they never came or fixed anything.
Okay.
So this morning, the supervisor called me and said, they're going to try to be here this coming Wednesday.
Hey, Bo, is Bo around? Is he still there? Bo, you still around?
Yes, he's here.
Bo, listen.
Yeah, I'm here, Tom.
Listen, bro. Bo knows a lot about the construction industry. Bo, I want you to try to help her with this Blue Ribbon. Kachina can give you a copy of the email.
I'll call him, Tom.
But here's the deal. I got the emails. I think Kachina still has them. But here's the bottom line. And that is that Blue Ribbon, from what I can see, actually did get a settlement from her insurance company. What I find odd, this is what I find odd, Bo. I don't know how the hell they got standing to do it. I think she had to sign over the claim to them. So they got paid, but they didn't finish the job. So that's what you're going to find out in this work, is that they did get paid. Now they got to finish it. She has a quadriplegic daughter they can't take care of. You know, Oma, I'm so sorry that I didn't pass this on to someone sooner. I'm sorry. I misunderstood and thought you were going to contact Blue Ribbon. So, Bo, if you could call Blue Ribbon and get the bottom line on this, it would really help. This has been going on since fall of 2021.
I will call this afternoon.
Thank you. Hey, Uma, you're in good hands. Now, Bo, speaking of you, did you say you had a follow-up? Did I get a text from you earlier saying you had a follow-up?
Yes, it was, let me go back to my notes. She called in last Thursday. Her name is Lori at the 12 o'clock hour. Her son was living in a hotel/apartment building, and they haven't had hot water for
Yes. He's going through a divorce. She's paying for the hotel and is temporarily in a hotel with no hot water.
Right. So I called the management company that day, and I made a couple calls the following day. They just would not call me back at all. So I went ahead and called XL Energy, gave them the address, And they had the work order to go over there and turn on the gas, but no one from this Denver West Inn Hotel ever called them to come out. So I just told them that they need the gas turned on. If the work's done, would you please go over there and turn it on? They turned on the gas on Saturday.
Oh,
It
great.
has hot water.
Oh man, what idiots that they dropped the ball. What was the name of that motel?
Denver West Inn Hotel at 7150 West Colfax.
Oh, well, that's why.
They're goofballs.
West Colfax. I mean, that's too bad. And you were able to get it done, and all they had to do was make a phone call.
They just had to make a call and initiate an order to come turn on the gas because the contractor, whatever the gas leak was completed by the contractor.
And it's a motel, isn't it?
They call it a hotel. I think there's 30 units over
Okay.
there, So everybody's got hot water now.
That is so
Thanks
cool.
to the show.
Okay, hold on. I you know what? I don't know if my dinger's even working today, but I haven't used it.
Too hot for the dinger.
It could be too hot, but I'm gonna give it a try right now. Hold on. This absolutely deserves. No, where the heck? Okay, there it goes. There we go. Yeah, So we got my dinger. We got more coming right up. I'm Tom Martino.
Your age, Tom, sometimes the dinger works, sometimes it doesn't, so that's okay.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Some slowdowns on the south end of town, just north of I-225 Parker Road. Both north and southbound lanes are closed between Iliff and East Jewel Avenue due to an accident involving a semi-truck and a motorcycle. We're hearing reports of down power lines. Crews on site. Watch out for detours. This one may be around for a while. Otherwise, a calm drive throughout the Denver Metro for the most part. I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town. Northeast of downtown through Commerce City, I-270 westbound. Some stop-and-go traffic between Northfield and Vasquez. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, high 97. Today we're expecting some clouds to roll in for some PM thunderstorms, overnight low of 64. Rain throughout the next couple days as well. The current temperature in Denver is 94 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Uh-oh, it's my turn, isn't it, guys? I'm sorry. Yeah, I love talking about EuroPlumbingColorado.net because you get the best deals on water heaters. And I'm telling you, you can't touch the prices. If you need a water heater, try them out. Put them to the test. There's $13.99 for a 40-gallon tank fully installed, $14.99 for a 50-gallon. No matter what size you want, they got it. And I'm telling you, they do such a great job on any plumbing repair, and they say they'll save you money. EuroPlumbingColorado.net, 303-668-6844. Hey, here's a topic I don't love talking about, but it's a necessary topic, and it's about defense attorneys. Joe Lazzara is a great guy, and I've known Joe for many years. If you get in trouble, you may need a defense attorney. I hope you never do. But put the name down just in case, and you may want to refer him to somebody in the future. And here's the deal. Life does not always go perfectly. If you need help, Joe Lazzara, a DUI, maybe you're guilty and you did something stupid. Maybe you were falsely accused or somewhere in between. 303-429-6200. Always complimentary consultations up front and then flat rate pricing. 303-429-6200. Joe Lazzara. Yeah, let me know. Wow. So. What's the risk? Sorry.
10 seconds here, Tom.
Donald Trump Jr. joins the program today. Security expert Eric Prince and a whole lot more on the Joe Pag Show. Tonight from 6 to 9 on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Welcome to the show. And don't forget DenverRegen.com. In addition to semaglutide and tirzepatide for weight loss on a fraction of the cost you pay for the name brands, they also do stem cell therapy. DenverRegen.com. Okay, so we are getting toward the end of the show. I have Red Rocks Roof and Solar with us, and that's redrocksrs.com. So I want to talk we get a lot of interest in this REAP program, REAP. Is that what it's called? Okay. So REAP is for commercial systems, right?
Commercial or ag.
Can you explain how it works and how people can make money with it? Like the people, businesses who put it in, and how they can actually get it all paid for?
Yeah, so any business or ag project automatically gets 63.9% of the project paid for regardless. That's between all of
63.4%. Is that with credits too?
Yeah, that's your tax credits as well as your depreciation. So
and how long does it take to recoup depreciation?
It's over 6 years. 80% of the depreciation is in year one, and then you're getting the other 20% over the next 5 years.
So that automatically pays for 60, then 60% roughly, right? Mm-hmm. And then what about grants?
Yeah, so the REAP grant pays for half of the project. So if you total those two things together, you're looking at 113.9% paid for with government benefits.
Did you, and the government doesn't mind, even though you're getting tax credits and depreciation, they don't mind paying half with money going in your pocket.
They're looking at the install agreement for the half. So they don't know your depreciation piece or your tax credits or anything else.
And it's all legal and above board.
Yeah, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be able to.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't look good in orange.
So if the system, bottom line, is $100,000.
Yeah.
60 grand can be paid for, and then half of that 50 is paid for. So you're getting 110 grand in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And your system's completely paid for. Plus, it's generating free electricity.
Yeah, and then you're at your electric bill too, so whatever those savings are.
If you have a commercial system, you might want to check that out. RedRocksRS.com, 303-704-2449. That's Red Rocks Roof and Solar, 303-704-2449. And don't forget to call me for help, 303-MARTINO. Save all your problems for me.
You're clear, buddy.
Follow
Wonderful.
at Real Tom Martino.